Hello. I hope y'all got your comfy pants because we could be here a while. There I am. Looks like they're going to get started in about 3 minutes. This is going to be Riley and PheonixFeather.
Probably like an estimated time frame of everything, and we'll get the restream back on track. But until then, feel free to cat jam and Pepe. No, wait, we don't have Pepe D. I need to contact Trez and tell him to get Pepe D in here. Feel free to cat jam in chat, and I'll swap the timer to a better time. Thank you, everyone. Sorry about that.
Well, looks like we're just getting started about 4 minutes now. So just chill out, relax. Hold up. That was not 4 minutes. Let's get y'all some volume.
It's okay.
Hey, everyone. Sorry for the major scuff portion of this. We have everything cleared out, so we're going to go on and into the race itself. I'll hand it over to Trez to explain some stuff, along with Yoshi and Banana for commentary, and we're in for a good race.
Trez, you can go ahead.
Hey, everybody. So I'm currently trying to figure out why the YouTube recording is not working, but that's fine. So just so everybody knows, especially since you're seeing that Riley is currently not live, albeit that the race.
I'll have audio back in just a minute.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
never. Now I can't.
And I did this on purpose. So we gonna be fine in just a little bit. Bear with us here. But yeah, anyways,
Okay.
Riley's stream crashed, which and he had.
Okay. There we go. It's back.
No, give me a second. There is something.
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, do Phoenix now.
Okay, we should be good now, including some audio from Phoenix. So yeah, take it away
I'm
again.
seeing on the tracker that he picked up a bomb bag. I assume from the guy on the roof, just based on where he is.
As adult, I saw that they started in Lon Lon in the brief moment. So adult spawn in Lon Lon is pretty good, close to 10th of the time at least, in case you don't get privilege for a while.
And there's Vanilla Storms from the windmill guy.
Yes, Phoenix stopped for the duration that Riley needed to fix. Yes, and then I counted them back in. So
Okay.
that's
we go.
fine.
So are we going to see that, or did it happen so close to the beginning that
Now
we've
we'll
already
see.
gone past that?
We'll see Phoenix stopping, in like 10 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that, and that's when Riley's stream will hopefully soon-ish come back up. Probably around the 13-minute mark or something. So, yeah.
So.
All right. And thank you for the gifts of Abby Normal 33. So far, nothing in the graveyard.
Yeah, whole lot nothing. I mean, early bombs. You're always happy with the early explosives, but otherwise, Epona's isn't great.
Storms is good though.
Okay.
That is good.
So we are going to be tracking Phoenix here today.
Pointing towards bottom of the well pretty quickly, as long as Zelda's lullaby doesn't, completely elusive for the whole time.
We did start with the Spirit Medallion. And is this marked on it? Okay, no. Never mind. Looks like that's only marked on our side. So yeah, we started with a Spirit Medallion.
And I guess since we were thrown into it, the other thing to mention here is, so riding in PheonixFeather, we got the 17th and the 30th seed. I feel like both of them were a little bit underseeded. PheonixFeather in particular was very
we're tracking.
underseeded.
This works though,
7th
because we're
seed
tracking
in
Phoenix
season 3. Very strong player
today.
who just, snuck in the tail end of the qualification, but definitely been performing in bracket.
Yeah, and got a tunic from Dompe and a bunch of cash. That is nice. Means we don't have to worry about. Well, we have less reason to worry about Wallet Way of the Heroes, but ooh, and looking from the menu screen, it looks like Phoenix's is a really nice blue. That's my favorite color. Is like a turquoise teal kind of color. And
I like the purple that we've got right now for Phoenix. That's what I tend to go for.
Yeah.
Even if you can barely see it in these like shadow of Virtual Console.
Binge Crafter, we actually didn't see exactly where the bombs were, but based on like the timing, I think they were on the man on roof. But not 100% sure. We had some technical difficulties. And thank you for the raid, Tingle Jill. You saw it, Lazy? Was it man on roof? Yeah, okay. Good,
That makes
thank you.
sense. Yeah.
Did not
I'm
see it
gonna
on my
hazard
end.
a guess. I saw they started in Lon Lon and then we lost a bit in between. I'm gonna hazard a guess they just walked straight from Lon Lon, and he's just gone straight Lon Lon to Kakariko and up there. So
Yeah, I saw he didn't. He was in Lon Lon and my stream ran out, and it came back and he had just jumped into the open grotto and he had bombs at that point. So I'm assuming, based on where you would go on that path, probably.
and
Early
straight to
DC.
Dodongo's cavern, which is a medallion, so this makes more than enough sense. Like, even if it's a stone, you probably do that here, but
I think that's supposed to be a secret. I don't think we're supposed to know. But
oh, true.
it could
yeah.
be anything. Who knows?
Well, you're gonna
Goron
do Dodongo's
City
cavern no matter what. Yeah, sorry, I was
No, it's cool.
Autopilot.
Technical difficulties.
Threw
Technically,
me off,
it's
threw
not
me off.
impossible that PheonixFeather did just go and check the pedestal and we didn't see it, but probably not.
Yeah, and Dodongo's Cavern is just like the densest play. You know,
Yeah.
we've spoken so much in all of these races of like in the older seasons, seasons 1 to 3, it was like, oh, you're just gonna go and do Deku Tree right away because it's just open straight away and it's so dense for items. Well, Dodongo's Cavern has kind of become that best play, that best dungeon, because it's open pretty easily and it's so dense. There's so many items. Like, it's Dodongo's Cavern has just kind of stepped up that boundary where Deku Tree dropped.
Yeah, and if you basically start with bombs and you're like right there in Kakariko, it's just super obvious. Thank you for more of the subs. Gift subs, Abby Normal 33.
Yeah, you've got a hype train going. Incredible.
Ooh. Yeah. And thank you for the gift subs, Sir Nyquil of Sealand.
PF grabbing the pot here. I love this.
Hot strats for killing the Skulltula. I mean, it's that or a bomb for him at this point.
Yeah, there is like a jump slash you can do, but with the amount of time it takes, like, yeah, you're coming up here anyway, just grab the pot. So just to re-clarify for everyone just joining, there was an FPA call roughly 11 minutes in. So Riley's stream would have dropped at that stage. We've lost roughly 11 minutes. We expect Riley's stream to come back up around that point. So in about 2.5 minutes, we should be able to see everything from there. And Phoenix will just pause for a moment to let Riley get back in. So we'll know exactly when that's happening. But until then, we're seeing what PheonixFeather's doing, and I've got to assume Riley's going to do something very similar. He's a very thorough player, so I assume he would have gone to Kakariko early. He'll have picked up the bomb bag, and he'll have wanted to follow that.
Yeah, most likely. I don't see anything else here that would really lead you to go somewhere else. Yeah, the timer should be accurate that you're seeing on stream. We're on a delay specifically for this kind of thing and to, prevent buffering and stuff like that. And so it's happened in real life, but we won't see it on the stream for another couple minutes.
Yeah, I guess Riley's other big option would have been to go up to Goron City and like the crater first and then loop around to Dodongo's Cavern afterwards. But I don't know, there's value in that, but without being able to get the song in the crater, I feel like you probably want to do Dodongo's first in case you get a hookshot or hovers here that let you get that song.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, with the Goron City Raid hero, that is probably gonna pay off, but I still think it's not, especially not knowing that, it's better play to just go for it. Riley had to invoke the fair play agreement. He had an OBS crash, so we will be seeing his stream come back up in a couple of minutes. And Storms was vanilla. It was the guy in the windmill.
Opponent start does mean we can get that good old season 4. Just rush the Garuda area. Just straight there, no items.
Yeah. Also, there's been nothing but money in this Dodongo's Cavern so far.
Yeah, DC's just been dead.
Yeah,
Not
not
even a whole
really
lot
what
of
you want to.
money.
It's not always what you want to see, but I guess it makes up for the shield they bought on the way in. Like,
True, yeah. And maybe King Dodongo will have something. So we should be getting Riley's stream back any time now. And then PheonixFeather will have to wait for a little bit for the fair play to make up for all the time that Riley lost. But we'll get to see what he's doing.
I would say Phoenix will pause here.
Does King Dodongo have anything?
that's the pause.
Well, I guess we're not going to see
Get to see the suspense. Oh boy.
So Riley's stream should be back up in 1 or 2 minutes on the next episode of OOTR. What does King Dodongo have? Right.
You just faintly hear the conversation in the distance.
Yeah, quietly in the background. I believe they said it was sometime around. There we go. So.
So sure enough, we do.
Trez telling people what to do for a bit.
Well, we at least get a look at the pause menu here, which is something because Riley's has
got a nice number of rupees.
Very nice. Riley has. That's okay. Actually, that's really interesting. What did Riley buy that PF didn't? Oh, I guess the discount was different. I guess maybe the discount they got was the difference there.
It looks like he's also in Dodongo's Cavern, got the bonds, so exactly.
Yeah, it looks
like he's just slightly behind PheonixFeather.
Almost identical, except I think PF got the bomb drop from the Armos, and that's probably about the only difference there. And Riley didn't have a Zora tunic.
All right, here we go.
He didn't do Dompe, I guess. Oh, and I missed what was on. King Dodongo. Probably was bad because PheonixFeather didn't pick it up. And that's a Shadow Medallion. Well, I just noticed they're both purple. PheonixFeather's like a dark purple. Riley's like a lighter one.
Big fan of this. I like Riley's color scheme on the whole, like the hearts, the blue buttons, all of it.
Yeah, that does look nice. Neither of them are French, I'm pretty sure. So we're not seeing the
yeah, Riley's French Canadian, but
well, he's
not quite.
French Canadian's probably not going to go for the French flag color scheme. Is where he's going with that. We've seen a lot of people in this tournament. A lot of French runners have done their hearts, magic, buttons, etc. to be the French flag. And PheonixFeather going for Way of the Hero, Goron City. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was going to say, it's weird seeing PF having like all the vanilla cosmetics and then just the tunic's different.
That's true.
being able to grab this Storm Scroll so early is weirdly nice. Like it's one that people I think tend to not really think about, but like if you get storms very late or even like fairly average time, that's a very easy one to just like skim over, walk past, and not come back to for another hour or two. And I've definitely seen that cost races. And
Yeah. It's very nice to get storms early. I mean, it obviously did not pay off in this seed. It was just some rupees, but it's good to get out of the way.
I know very much Riley and I think PheonixFeather as well both tend to be very thorough players. So being able to be that little bit more
There's a bottle.
efficient as they go through is a lot of value for them.
Ooh, Lake Hylia, Way of the Hero. I don't know if that's a good or a bad one. On the one hand, you don't really want to go there. On the other hand, now you know you have to go there.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you don't want the item there, but if it's going to be there, at least you're told. At least you know you have to do it now. It's funny, Riley, back close to when he first started, actually developed a bit of a reputation for rushing Adult Lake. Definitely not a habit he still has, but it's definitely going to be a part of him that's like, damn. Back to the old times.
So where do we think it's going to be? Lab dive, fishing, top of the thing, shoot the sun.
It's got to be one of the
diving
earlier
thing.
ones. So the thing for me is they got bombs as early as they did, so you can already go and buy beans.
That's true. So maybe that means it's not going to be one of the earlier ones. Seed's not going to be nice. Sun Song is
What's-
Eyeball Frog.
Oh,
We better hope it's not that. By which I mean bigger on. Like, we better hope we don't need that. We don't know what's
That's
on Ocarina of Time yet, but either way, Eyeball Frog sucks.
that is a very interesting one, though. Like, there's actually that knowing that in advance is so interesting as well because you can do the frog warp from
Yes.
Lake Hylia to Ice Cavern, but like, you have to go and pick that up first, and they'd have to have Sun Song. They have to have access to Ice Cavern, or at least Blue Fire to do King Zora while they're there.
Also, yeah, Goron City was Way of the Hero. We didn't see anything in there except a bottle, which is extremely unlikely to be Way of the Hero. So it's probably Child or the Maze. Or the other side of the maze that they can't check yet.
Ruby.
Yeah, I think the stats are like I've talked about stats all the times on comms now apparently, but like I think it was Child Goron City is like 30 something% to have a major item and like 20 something to be to be Way of the Hero. So it's a valuable play, surprising compared to where it used to be. Definitely big.
Read it
Composer's
instead.
Grave Fire Check is dead. Not a super useful
How's it going, bro? How are you?
as they go, but you know. And Frogs 2 is dead. That is a useful hint.
Nocturne.
Alright, and
And-
Composer's Grave is Nocturne.
We have 3 sometimes hints in there, all for the
Wow.
graveyard.
The Nocturne one is nice, though. Like, if we need to do Shadow, or, you know, Stone Shadow's finding a way, it's good to know where it is.
Right, and that's
Not
a
gonna
very
say
easy one to leave behind as well. If you're going to go pick up a bunch of
How's it
songs
going?
and you've just got Zelda's Lullaby, you're like, oh, I'll get this when I get Nocturne because I need the Lullaby to get in there. And then it's like, well, now you know you're not going to get Nocturne unless you go there.
Yeah, and you're also not gonna be like, oh, maybe it's an ice, or something like that. That's always good. Also, interesting.
About to start
route
work, I feel
divergence,
you.
Riley going.
So what this
going
actually
lost woods.
is, which
That
channel
makes
we are?
sense.
What this actually is a it's a race on Zelda speedruns. They do races, and they get different streamers to race against each other in this competition, and I signed up to be a tracker. And so my job is there's magic. So as these racers get items, my job is to track it, like light it up down below. Blue pea. Of course, when I do it for real, it's going to look different. It's going to look a little bit different, but for now, I'm just replaying. This race actually occurred last night. I'm just replaying the race. I've got my own tracker overlaid over that, and so I'm just going to. I'm just tracking it. We're tracking Phoenix on the right now. I wish I could say I am, but I can't speedrun worth a lick. I do play the randomizer quite a bit. I stream it every now and then, but I can't speedrun it like these guys can.
And shooting the sun is dead.
Matter of fact, they will
Well, that
complete.
won't be our highly awaited hero.
They will complete this whole seed
They've
in
got
probably
bonus.
2 or 3
They
hours,
can go GTG.
and I could
Got
spend 2 or
bombs,
3
hook
hours
shotless
and
as well,
not
like,
even
you
be
can pretty
close.
thorough while there.
So
They don't have
Yeah.
a bow, so they can't do much with the hook shotless, but
Don't
like
have
3 of
time
them.
either. But, you know.
Oh,
Done.
oh,
Okay.
but they do have Zelda's Lullaby that is out of logic right now, so that's one of the things you got to keep in mind going through, but
there's another bottle.
thankfully not too far out of the way.
And there's a second Goron City Wave hero hint. Now let's see where Riley heads now. With the hints and the stuff that we have, there are a lot of options. Yes, we saw the Goron City Wave hero earlier. We haven't found anything in there yet, but the only
I do
thing
too.
that they could check
Ocarina of Time
was
for sure is my
Link the
favorite.
Goron and
I've
the right side
completed it on multiple occasions.
Riley
played
just kind of
and
forgot
completed
that
Phantom
Storm Squadron, 'cause
Hourglass.
He did check the hint. I saw him check the hint, but he just walked over.
And I'm working through Majora's Mask still.
Yeah, that's.
It's
You better hope there's
Typically,
another
I
magic
stream
out there
Zelda,
somewhere.
Call of
it's gonna be
Duty.
mostly fine because he's gonna go back as child at some point anyway, almost certainly to get the song.
It kind of depends
And
on
at
the
that
mood.
point,
Mostly
assuming
it's
they
Zelda,
don't
Call
have
of
the
Duty, or
Minuet by that
Minecraft.
stage from Lon Lon,
But
then
here in the
his
next
best way to
upcoming
do that is
bit,
probably something
it's going
like
to be a lot
Valley
of
to Lake, and then walk over to Kakiri Forest,
the
picking up the
speed
field
run
crossroads on
racing.
the way.
when I'm live
Yeah, that's true.
tracking.
If he didn't just completely forget about it entirely, he will have another chance to go and get it.
And you got to imagine, to metagame a little bit, I guess, there is probably a part that's like
There's Zelda's.
thrown off a little from the FPA and the crash. So it's one of those things that you probably would forget, and then like immediately afterwards, it's just going to be like, why didn't I do this? I should have done that.
Yeah, that just feels bad. Also, Riley is choosing to go Ganon
So if
Castle.
you're trying to figure out what I'm doing,
Yeah, you can do that.
I
Started with
am
one
keeping
medallion, got another
tabs
one off to
of the
Dongo's.
guy
There's
on the
a
right
lot
side
of
of your
things you
screen,
can't
Phoenix
check, but,
Feather.
You know, there's some you can.
Yeah, this is a good
It's a play.
4 checks? 3?
Like-
4.
I can show you.
1 forest, 2 water, 1 boss key chest, yeah. I don't know if Riley knows Hookless Spirit, but he doesn't have choose anyway, so he wouldn't be able to hit the switch.
So like right here, there's the
We'll
original
see where Phoenix
tracking
Feather's going. He is also
from the
going
person
in
who originally did
Boulder
this. I
Destiny,
just
but
overlaid my own tracker
he could
over
go
it to practice.
anywhere after there. He might go Child or go Ganon's Castle, or there's a lot of things open, or at least like partially open, and not really a clear way of where you should go.
It's also so hard
Early
because
Furrows is
like
great if you...
I want to watch both. I love watching the speedrun races, and I want to watch both racers, but it's so hard because I can only focus on Phoenix right now to make sure I don't miss an item.
I actually think it's interesting. I do think going child here is probably the like quote unquote default play, like the standard one that I think most people would make at this point. But Gannon's is definitely a very reasonable call at this stage.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
it's also going to set up the time of day for Riley to get. Oh, but Riley doesn't have any warp songs.
We just saw the medallion, so we've got Shadow, Deku, Jabu, Dodongo that we already did, and Fire with Stone Water, Stone Forest, and Stone Spirit.
Knowing where Nocturne is already, Spirit on a stone, you're probably not looking at AD with this. It's very unlikely I'll have to do those, but
Thank the
well, that doesn't
Lord.
stop them having to go to those dungeons at least.
Yeah.
I did a race last night, and it was
Stone Water
all
with
dungeons, and
Way
it
of the
took
Hero Lake feels kinda bad.
forever.
And we all know how Water as a Stone has played into season 4.
30 Skulls Dead,
Second.
Sunsong on OOT, and outside Ganon's Castle. Way of the Well, there's Yeet Rock.
Yeah, I guess.
And
Straight
we
The
got
from
fastest
this season.
speed run?
Yeah, and we got a scale in
I
Ganon's
think-
Castle on Riley's side.
Well, that depends. There's 100 different categories.
Helps a bit.
You
That
want to
gives
know
you,
the
again,
fastest
Didn't
time
Zora's
ever,
domain access.
or like the fastest 100%?
And like the early child play is going to be, get to Kakiri Forest and
Like these
like,
guys,
like you said
they'll
earlier,
run
Valley
this in
Lake, Kakiri
probably
Forest, all
a
of that.
sub
You go
3
from there
hours.
towards River, or more
That'd be my
importantly, you
guess.
can not do field at that
The
point
fastest time
and go from
ever
lake to domain
is like
through to River,
7
from
minutes.
there to Lost Woods.
And we're getting a Bomb Chew Bowling. That's a stick. I thought he was going for it for a minute there. Like, you really want this stick? Even if it's an upgrade.
Yeah, the fastest time ever
Ooh!
is 7 minutes and
we
9
just
seconds.
found out that this is a Strength 3 required seed, so you really want that.
But that's the any percent category.
I was wondering if the dog was going to get in the way there.
The killer dog. I've seen someone die from the dog before. That's always sad but funny.
Yeah,
It's always really funny to me when someone dies and stuff like that because, like,
Yeah.
the game over screen fades
The
to
current
black,
world
but all the
record,
characters
any
just get lit
percent,
up,
which
so it's like this
means-
just like ominous dog staring over you.
there's a strength upgrade.
Alright. Child already paying off.
It's any percent, which means any percentage of the game completed is 7 minutes and 9 seconds.
They had storms, Riley just forgot. So PheonixFeather ditching his dog.
There's 3 skulls.
I don't really know what PheonixFeather's time of day is like right now. There's a chance he just grabs the hints here and then walks out.
He can also get
Riley-
the fairy. And that's 40 skulls dead.
Riley going to
And you
Gannon's
can get
seems
more
a bit of
information
extra
on
time to burn as
the
well,
world
because that
records
sets it right
at
the start, and I said
Z
you'll probably end up
speedruns.com. A streamer of mine that I
going up and
watch,
around and
he
actually just
did
going
he set a
into
world
the
record. It
castle
was
to get
16
dropped
minutes
off
for that
outside by
category he was
Emperor.
doing.
Oh yeah.
It was 16:47 for his record.
And he's gonna get his strength. See if the fairy has any.
Grief. Bloopy.
Save
Nope,
warp is also
got
a
it.
very good option here. Yeah.
Sure, we don't know the child start. And it looks like that fairy gotta wait 7 years to find out what she's got. 7 years and 2 more strength upgrades. Child spawn. Let's find out where it is.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a fun
Well,
one.
that's
Well,
fun.
dang.
I guess Goron City.
That's easy child Goron City. Yeah. Access, easy. You can take the owl down. Easy access to that really bad skull and this fountain. It's not as terrible as it seems, especially if they get some warp songs, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, this is
Just
actually quite
arrive
nice
there and
because
they're instantly on fire. I like that.
it's quite nice now because it's Goron City plus Kakariko. And even
Yeah.
going forwards, it's like a good way to child cack, which bottom of the well is really looking good right now.
True. Yeah. It's basically just the
What's your favorite?
Kakariko start, except
What's
a
your
little bit
favorite
slower.
Zelda game?
I guess their adult is basically a market start, but again, a little bit slower. You just got to walk over there from Lon Lon.
Yeah, it's true. And Riley's just doing the same thing that PheonixFeather was. And we'll
PF
see.
grabbing the song now makes sense as well. We already know the check's there. This is just come in, get Nocturne, and have a good way in and out later.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Too bad he doesn't have the right time of day to hit up Dompe while he's here, but oh well.
I was actually curious, like, it looked like PF was waiting a little while near the owl, and I was actually wondering if he was going to go for daytime to do chickens.
I thought that too, Binge Crafter. When I was a kid, I also thought that riding the owl to the top of the house was the only way to get the cow heart piece. I wasn't very good at this game as a kid, and I'm still not very good at it.
I think I did it the other way around. I took the chicken up as a child and
There's
didn't
Nocturne.
even consider the fact that you could get dropped on the roof.
And I always had such a hard time with
I
chickens
got you.
as a kid.
Yep. I would have to
I was
say
so bad. And it's
I
later
haven't
on
played
dead,
them all
so I'm not
myself,
gonna need that
but
Apple
Ocarina
Frog.
is definitely my favorite
So that rules out
out of the ones I
all
have played.
dungeons. We already know the
Now, I've
Sun's grave with the
played
eyeball frog. We know that
Ocarina,
Frogs 2 is
Majora's
dead. That's
Mask,
everything that Sunsong might be good
and Phantom
Yeah.
Hourglass.
Well, that's nice to know. Means there,
I guess
if
since
there's any
Ocarina was the very
skulls,
first one I played, and it's
or
kind of
just
the one I
time of day in
grew up
general, then
playing,
it kind of suck. But
it's just the one I hold
Still better than
nearest to my
AD.
heart. I
for. Oh,
just
if
love
this
it.
is a 50 skull seed with that, that's
Like,
kind of
I
beautiful,
can't watch-
honestly.
I mean, so
That's like-
far, our only way
I can't
to
just
get
sit
for
and
Goron City's
watch,
a bottle, so
Speed
Oh,
runs,
that would be
races.
such
They
an
do
interesting
Majora's
test
Mask
of, like,
speed runs. They
routing.
do Breath of the Wild. Well, I don't know if they do Breath of the Wild, but they do Skyward
yeah,
Sword,
and we are getting the well play from
Twilight
Feather.
Princess.
Makes sense. You
I
can
can't get into
full
watching
clear it
those, but
in Logic too, and it's
I'll
got a
sit
ton
and
of
watch
checks.
Ocarina of Time all day.
Mhm.
Yeah, it could absolutely be Oops AD for items.
It's like, in my
but
opinion, it's
not
got the best
80.
soundtrack and it's got the best gameplay.
Yeah, no, the scale makes the bottle not way of a hero. It's just the only
Yes,
thing we've
sir.
seen in Goron City so far.
Yeah, I got a little
But we
surprise
haven't
for
seen
you.
most of Goron City.
If he gets something, let me know.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Riley was gonna just do the same thing here too.
Yeah, I fully expect it. Bottom of the well is always going to be one of your best locations whenever it's available, and
Hey, Greg.
gross. Sorry, I gotta play the heel at this point. I gotta.
That's fine. I know Greg is divisive.
The green rupee of suffering and shame, or gross for short.
Nice. Yeah, run is valid now.
I actually
Phoenix
really
Ring
want them to
finding
turn it into the loser rupee. I really want that to happen.
What, like they customize the text so it has the loser text on it?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, so I've got.
Honestly, when there was
Ready?
ice traps, I wish they'd done that instead of "you are a fool." It says loser.
Just for you, homie. That's where I grew up playing.
That's one of my. I love the rando text
It's actually my
option.
first console.
I was talking to some friends the other day about stuff about like this, and we were like, there was a randomizer we were playing where every NPC's text is changed, and we were like, damn, I wish they did that. So like every time you walk past someone in the market, they're just like giving you really
I am
obnoxious
Zelda, Princess
lines.
of
Like,
I love the rando textizer. It's understandable that they don't use it in this because you can get really obnoxious things, like you get the entire explanation of the goddesses
Yeah.
every time you pick up.
That was actually
a
my very
rupee
first
type of deal.
console
So
I ever
it
had.
Could, like, absolutely
Now I
screw
can
over your
remember
time, but it's
I used to
very fun.
always go to my grandmother's house and we'd sit in what was her back
Skip
bedroom that we
upgrade.
always called the game room, because that's where all the games were.
so worth noting here, like,
Hey,
Yeah.
well, happy early birthday,
a
bro.
pretty
Hope you have a
sizable
good
lead
one.
right now.
And
his
yeah,
lead is
yeah,
just
the
that
OG.
he didn't
I got the
go
old
Ganon's
OG
castle. That's
console
like
sitting
the
down here
only
too.
difference between them.
Mhm.
Or I guess he had like 1 or 2 minutes, but it's mainly just he didn't go Ganon's castle. So I expect that at some point, Riley will get back some of that because he's gonna go Ganon's castle at some point. But
Yeah.
Riley is gonna have to double dip it unless it turns out there's literally nothing there and he doesn't go.
And I guess, yeah, the
I
flip
do
side
have
of
a
that is
red
like
controller.
the
I've
Ganons
got the
won't pay
OG
off
gray.
unless Riley goes to get that magic, which he should, but you
I
know,
have
in
the
theory,
OG gray
would have got
controller,
that the first visit there.
but
So
Now, he does have that
it's
scale
so
from Ganon's
old. It's
castle. That's
just
the
not
only
working
way
the
that he
best. So
can
I
pay
have
out
a
if he doesn't
little
get
newer
magic.
one that's red.
So magic is, of course, something that PheonixFeather has over him, but hopefully Riley is going to go back there and remember that he missed it. Okay.
And bigger on.
He's
nice
stabbing.
early big Gorons, yeah. Makes Shadow that little bit nicer, makes... That is going to make Phoenix's
yeah.
Ganon's a little bit nicer as well. Not a huge
Yeah, I can
difference, but still
remember
a difference.
going to my
Yeah.
grandparents,
Save a little bit of time here and there.
and we
Always
just sit in
nice.
the game room and we play Zelda. I actually remember
Yeah, and we
Zelda-
are getting a little stabby to this seed. Deku's got the fire medallion.
oof,
Gonna have
That
to
ain't
find
right,
him
bro.
some Stabbo.
that ain't right. You don't take a man 64.
So far, well, not paying out though. I mean, more
Yeah,
sticks
matter
is
of fact,
nice.
I think my
Greg is
console
nice if you like meme percent,
was my dad's console,
but that's about it.
and so it's like OG.
Yeah, like, that's the thing with the well, is like, it has so many checks, but the biggest advantage
yeah.
of it is you don't really feel bad even if it doesn't pay out, because it's like, it takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's fast. Doesn't require a ton of stuff, and sometimes it can tend to be like really stacked. I feel like if there's stuff in the well, there's usually like 3 things in the well somehow.
I need to just get them because none of my cousins play anymore, but they play Xbox and stuff. Nobody goes back to the 64.
Yeah, sticks is always nice.
But my grandmother has a giant box
So many bloopies. I know
full
probably some of them are arrows,
64
but given that we already
games.
have bombs, like, we are getting all the bloopies at the beginning of this seed.
But like
And Phoenix
the only
Feather
ones
is
I
failing because
personally
based on key
had
layout, they
were,
must be a key.
you can tell when I got this. We got the Elmo
And
game
that was a completely
when I was
empty
like
well.
3 and 4. So I was actually started
Some
playing.
sticks.
So we had that.
That's all.
One of my
some
favorites,
onions and
Banjo Kazooie.
I guess, again,
then we
yeah, they're not going to
had-
mind too much, because they've both got to
I
assume
had
the other's going to
Super
do it.
Mario,
It's this early with Bombs, Lullaby, and Storm.
and I
which
had
is
The Legend of Zelda.
so good.
Yeah, totally.
And
They're not
then for my
really losing any time
grandmother, I
against each
picked up
other.
Star Fox,
Big question, I guess, becomes what else are you doing? Like, you're going to go pick up the child song, do
Donkey
Goron
Kong.
City on the way, and then
the
I guess
Star
Goron
Wars Rogue
City
Squadron,
almost has to pay out at this point.
And the only check that they
the
can't
OG
do
first-person
would be,
shooter James
Dancing
Bond.
Maria and Left Side of Maze.
Yeah, so I
So,
guess it's
Le-
50%.
odds are that
Super
it's
Smash
gonna be
Brothers.
here.
This is my all-time favorite. We would
The
spend
Child
Yeah.
Song
hours
is,
upon hours
is
playing
Papa
this game.
Volcano.
Mhm.
Someone can update the bot.
And then
Yeah.
Top Gear Rally.
And I guess, yeah, technically this is very
Like I said,
slightly
she's got
above
a crap ton
50%
more.
because there's always a chance that there are multiple items.
True, yeah. Well, that's not it. Rip team by a shield.
That I
which
don't
PheonixFeather
have.
Did, but
It's already paid out, it's fine.
yeah, no, I don't think it was a bad
Oof.
play.
I missed Drito's
But-
letter.
That was actually the second free Hylian shield because there was one in
Thanks,
the coffin
homie.
in the well. Is there going to be something in the pot? I
Oh,
kinda
it
want
was
there to be
letter,
something in
not
the pot.
bottle.
I just like that check.
Yeah, and like
mean,
I said,
don't
she's
like
got
doing
the
it,
rest of the
but I
games.
like
I need to just
when
go
other
get them
people who are good at it do it.
because nobody there
I was
plays
gonna
it
say,
anymore.
I was never a fan of it, but that might be because I haven't played as much in the last, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months or so, when it's been out of logic with strength.
Yeah. It with strength is so
The
bad.
worst, the absolute worst.
This it.
Ooh,
Oh, he
miss.
missed. He's mad that he missed.
There's a little bit of a time loss. Like, it feels like it's nothing, and yet at the same time, it's one that you're like, this isn't the time loss I should be seeing, and then like you're just sat there waiting for the pot to start spinning again. It feels like it takes forever.
Yeah.
Boomerang.
Well, that'll be it.
Yeah. Worth the wait. With that letter, you can go do Jabu now. Letter, ZL, bombs. That's another dungeon in Logic.
I do some
And
Minecraft on
having that
PC.
scale now is going to
Thank
be
you for
actually
following.
pretty big for Riley, because assuming
Why
he
is
does
that
something
overlay
similar
bad?
here,
That's
where
a
he wants to
bad
go to
overlay.
Goron City
Hold
as
up.
child, he'll get the boomerang,
Wait a second.
and he'll go from Goron City to Lost Woods to River to Domain, and he'll go beat Jabu.
True, yeah. We're gonna see the child Saria checks first.
I play Xbox, PC. Occasionally, I'll hook up the 64,
Oh yeah, that is a good point.
but mostly between
if he
Xbox and
does that,
PC.
He'll be less likely to go
Sometimes
back
I'll
to
hook up the
Magic,
old PlayStation 2 and play it.
so that could be bad. We still don't know where the other Magic is, or if he's actually forgotten about it, or if he knows he's gonna go back.
Yeah. It all depends on whether he remembered afterwards or not. Because, like, he'll know he's going to go back there as child, so he might have just remembered immediately and just been like, okay, I'll grab it as child, it's fine.
The scale was in Ganon's castle, Bubmeister.
So, as long as Riley did remember, then he'll get the Saria song check and then just loop round out of the forest to go to, or out of Lost Woods to go to Kikiri Forest, grab the storms, and then go back in.
I hope so. Also, that was a Song of Time on the Saria check. That's nice for Way of the Hero GTG. Honestly, if you've got a GTG Way of the Hero, I wouldn't be nearly as sad to see time as usually would. Like, both for toilet and just for getting into the maze. We already have Rudo's letter, Warink. It was on the Lost Woods scrub. Also, it's not bait because Jabu is required. Riley is going Lon.
This makes sense. Riley actually got a really good time of day coming out of the well for this, so...
Yeah, it's a song. Definitely makes sense. Like, it makes sense that PheonixFeather wouldn't.
Yep, I've got Xbox
chase down
One.
the Way of the Hero.
It's back
Oh.
home.
Okay,
I've got
good.
my
Well,
with me here
that's
at
required. We
school.
gotta
I've
do
got my
Fire Temple.
Xbox 360.
So they
and my
are potentially
64.
going to go completely different paths because
I've got
PheonixFeather
my
has the stuff
computer.
to do Jabu. Riley has the stuff to do Fire.
I don't do much
potentially.
PC gaming, but the only thing on PC I really play is Minecraft.
I don't think it's
Because
likely
all I
that
have
Riley
is
will go
a
adult again
MacBook
before
Pro
doing
laptop,
Child
so
Goron City, just because of that Way of the Hero.
I can't like
Yeah.
overly just grind
Yeah, yeah,
games.
you're right.
And then if
And
that's the case, the
Bolero.
scale will take him straight to Jabu as well.
He just
Ooh.
got his Fire starter kit
I'm
here.
really
The
following.
rank gets
Yeah,
the
that's
hammer,
actually-
immediately gets Bolero. That's a free song though as well.
Although there aren't that many useful songs there now, like...
We do
You know, you're
still
not getting
need Saria's or Minuet for
shoes.
logical forest access.
Mhm.
And also with the Way of the Hero Goron City, I would want to see Saria's just to be completely sure there's nothing on Dancing Dad. But yeah,
Logical forest access almost has to show up early.
yeah. I was honestly kind of expecting it to be on Malin. But
yeah,
if
with
it's on the Bolero check.
with the boomerang there as well, locking the Burning Kakariko song behind the water medallion, then there's always a high chance that, like, the boomerang is locked by Zelda's Lullaby, which is locked by forest access, so... kind of has to turn up early by that.
It is possible to have a ZL-less water. not likely, but it can happen. I forget the exact odds. It's pretty low, but not 0.
Yeah, there's.
I
Let
think
me
we've
think.
seen it in this tournament, actually.
10. There's 11 checks. One of those is the boss, so it's 10. So it'd be a 1 in 5, I think.
Oh, is it that high? I definitely thought it was less than that, but it can
It's-
happen. It has happened.
I guess the key placement. No, the boss key is placed first. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if
I
you
think it's just 1 in 5.
If you just get the boss key, you can just go and do it.
Yeah.
But I'm
And-
expecting probably it's just going to be Saria's or Minuet on the Bolero check.
There is, yeah, it's almost certain, but it's not 100%. The
Looks like we're
only,
gonna get Child River.
actually no, I guess.
Mr. Mario, we need forest access because ZL was on the Minuet check. So we don't
Yeah,
logically
yeah.
have a way to get there.
And I
even
guess
though they can.
the only way it wouldn't be on the Bolero check is if it was on the desert and you were meant to cross by foot. Like,
Yeah,
that's the
could be
only other
that.
place it could be. So
would be
it's
awful, but-
likely Bolero at this point.
Most likely, but that would be terrible.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be on Bolero, like she said, it could be Requiem, but it locks ZL, so anything that's locked by ZL, it couldn't be after. Oh, apparently, thanks Tannerin, apparently PheonixFeather was in the logically ZL-less seed. He probably hasn't forgotten that one.
But if Phoenix goes from Logic
Looks like we're gonna see
ZL-less
frogs
to
too.
potentially hookshot-less, that would be amazing. That would be so incredible.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, we had one that was on commentary for that was not logically bombless, but effectively bombless. They didn't get their bomb bag until they were in go mode, and they just had to use twos the whole time. Also, we're getting
I
the
love those ones.
Valley play from Riley.
This
I think
is
Valley Lake. Makes sense.
right.
You want to do Lake.
Yeah, this makes perfect sense from the position that, we mentioned earlier, Riley would end up going to Lon Lon and then going to Valley into Lake, to Domain, to River, to Lost Woods, all of that. It does mean that Goron City is going to feel kind of bad if he goes there at the end and goes, and then here's my
There's
boomerang and I
double
just have to go
defense.
straight back through. And
We got the
to beat
titties.
Gabu. But Riley is a very thorough player. Riley is not going to feel bad about getting these out the way in a very efficient order. He's going to feel very
Yeah.
good about that.
And the Lake Hylia wager
Apex.
makes this play like a lot more valuable than it would be normally.
Mhm.
Totally understandable.
I got you.
And like when are you gonna route
Good
into
buddy of
Child
mine,
Lake?
he streams live Apex Boostivity. He may be popping
in
in the
case you
chat here in a
forgot.
bit. But he streams
There's
live
a point there in
Apex.
chat. The issue with Lake is no hook shot. So the issue would be wanting the
beans.
beans before you go there. And if that's the
I
case,
mostly
then yeah,
stick with
your best
Call
bet
of
would
Duty.
be actually Goron City first. You save quit to Goron
What else do I
City,
play on my Xbox?
and then go from there to Lost Woods, do that. From there to River,
There's
get
6
the beans,
skulls.
and
Call
then
of Duty.
go to
Minecraft.
Domain to Lake to Valley.
Yeah,
and
that is
Titanfall 2.
true. You wanna get
Fortnite.
those beans. I assume based on the fact that he bought 2 of them, that's what PheonixFeather's gonna do.
Yeah, I assume that'll be one for the Lake and one for Colossus because he's not seen it yet.
Yeah.
Just different stuff.
And I didn't see what was underwater. I don't even know if he checked it. It's very hard to see at
And
night.
it looks like
but
we're going to domain play too.
he can actually get whatever it is. He's got the scale.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but it wouldn't surprise me too much if he didn't even.
Lens on 50
Oh
souls.
no! Ugh.
Probably
Oh.
not required, but oh no.
Crossing the desert became a little less likely.
Yeah. Either that or logically this seed is horrible if you need that to cross the desert. Not that that's going to actually matter, because they definitely know how to do it without the lens, but yeah, if there's something in chest game. Oh no.
Ooh, a
Ooh,
bow in lake.
that could be it. The other two are bow locked. Could easily be the way of the hero. You definitely want to keep checking.
This is really interesting because Riley's getting a lot of stuff right now. Like the hammer is great, the bow is great. You've got the Gerudo Training Grounds Way of the Hero.
He's really
And,
got
like-
his fire starter kit now.
Yeah, and like he's got so much pointing him to adult that he might skip out on Child Ground City now.
With the way of the hero, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the question would be if you want to go in for the 2 checks now, or if you want to wait until you've done the adult stuff and potentially picked up Saria's and try and get all 3 at once.
This feels kind of bad for him going here now without the boomerang, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be
If
a
he-
lot less efficient than PheonixFeather.
If he had the magic, if he just picked up the magic in Kokiri Forest, he could have set Feroz and Jabu and...
Yeah. Oh no, Bo waved the hero for 50 skulls lens. I don't think that's gonna happen. Bo doesn't really put that many more skulls into logic. It'd be like the hook shot or the boomerang, but
Yeah, I'm trying to think how many bow adds. And I think it's
Piece of heart.
1 that's already in logic with bombs.
yeah, it's not a whole lot. I didn't get a
Looks
chance
like we're
to
gonna see
watch
a Jabu
Saturday's
play.
Weekly yet. I heard it was like an absolute disaster, though. I'm so glad I couldn't commentate that one, because I probably would have signed up, because they were like looking for volunteers, but I literally could not. I had something else at the same time. Apparently I dodged a bullet.
Yeah, no, from what I saw of it, it was basically 50 skull hint up at the back of the castle.
Oh no.
Good luck!
Yeah, I heard that it was like way long for a weekly. Like, what happened here?
I think the best summary I heard of it was a 50 skull seed and you thought that was the worst of it and then it just kept going.
Oh no. Oh, we're gonna get Jabu. I feel like everyone thinks that Forest is like the most
So,
boring one to watch. but
Based off
I
what
feel
I'm
like it's
seeing right
Jabu,
now,
'cause at least Forest
Riley
has
is winning.
I love Javu. It has so much like tech to it that's really interesting if people know how to do it, but it's never so costly that like if you don't know it then you just are losing time
Yeah,
all over the
Riley's
place.
winning right now.
Lots of like tiny optimizations, which
That is
I love.
true, yeah.
I do feel like Jabu is like one that most people dislike though.
I don't know. Based on what people usually complain about, that's usually not one of the top ones. But
It's
I just
yeah.
like to play. It's perfectly fine. I just think it's the least interesting one to watch because there's so few checks. I
so,
love Master
yeah.
Quest Jabu though.
Oh, Master Quest Jabu is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Master Quest Jabu and Master Quest Ganons are like both strict upgrades, and every other one is like pretty awful.
I don't actually remember much of Master Quest Ganon. Mostly, I just remember Jabu because it's amazing.
If you forget about Fire Trial existing, Ganon's castle is amazing. It's so much fun, and then the Fire Trial is just like somehow even worse than the vanilla one.
Oh no.
I also think the bad dungeon that everyone just seems to like. People always talk about Forest and Shadow being boring and stuff. The other one for me is Fire. Hate watching Fire Temple.
I find, yeah, like some of it is interesting, some of it not as much. Osama Midori,
Riley
I'm pretty sure
on
Bombay
the
was on
left
that
is
one too.
winning.
We had some technical difficulties.
Now,
Yeah, any problem?
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, fire can be fast, or it can just be like the worst. Deep fire sometimes, like when you get to
Riley-
that point, sometimes it's
yeah,
funny.
Riley's
just
winning
because
as
you're like,
far
oh my
as
God, it's
progression.
Goron or whatever. But
And like, it's one of those things where
He
yeah,
has,
like, fire is
even
just kind of boring to
though
me because it's always
Phoenix
like
is going to
you go
get
until you get the boss
another
key, and it's really cruise control until you get the boss key, and
medallion,
then you just leave. Like you just don't go any further.
Riley
You're just
has
done.
more
also,
items
this
and more
is
stuff
kind of the moment
open.
of truth for Riley. He's here
And so
to get that magic out of the Storm's Grotto in Kokiri Forest. We will see if he's gonna do that. I mean, Deku
Phoenix is
is
falling
a medallion, so
behind,
he's
but I
gonna
do
be
think
back here
Phoenix is going to catch up.
at least one
Had
time,
Riley
but we don't know how
stayed
that's
in
gonna be enough
Jabu,
to
he would
block
have
by magic in the first place.
definitely held that lead a lot longer.
All right, walking out here, and he's gonna go towards Goron
But
City.
he's
which does
winning
seem-
right now.
No, that's walking.
Oh
And we'll
no!
just see what
That's a bad sign.
we'll just see how it plays out.
No! Just don't forget.
Like I said, he's winning as far as
I think he forgot.
items and progression. He has more things open,
Not good.
Like
more things accessible.
having,
Oh, when is he gonna come
I've
back
been
for
on the
that?
receiving end of this before.
Phoenix does not
during,
know that
Westworld, where,
Bo
like, yeah,
is
one
on
tech is
Shooting
forgotten,
Sun.
like 10 minutes in, and that's it. The whole race is decided on that, and it's just like, it's.
And
awful
so
on
he
all
needs a
ends because,
bow
like,
to
there
get
is
those bow
nothing
lock
we can do
thing,
about this. You know
the
that
bow
race is,
locked
like,
items.
really
He does not have that yet.
kind of skewed from the start, so hopefully the other magic turns up reasonably soon, and we can have a very close race here. But
He's also
Riley, I
missing
think more than
hammer,
anything, is going to be really
and
kicking himself
so
for
he
not
can't
having
access.
access to that for Roz.
To
that
get
he got
GTG,
early.
he needs.
Yeah,
He's
probably.
hammer locked and bow locked out of
Wait.
GTG.
Is he
Wait,
going back?
hold on.
Did he
Yeah,
remember?
he did not do the. He didn't do spinning pot.
He remembered. He
That's
was
why
doing
Riley
throwing
left
again?
Jabu. Riley doesn't have boomerang.
love that.
Boomerang is on pot. Boomerang's on spinning pot.
I'm so confused right now.
I don't know what Riley's doing. I mean, I'm glad he's going back the right direction, but I don't know what he's.
So that's going to set Riley back.
He's not gonna miss the boomerang because he's been hinted Goron City Way of the Hero. He knows he hasn't found it yet, but he could absolutely miss the magic. Riley, where are you going?
Yeah. He's boomerang locked out of Jabu.
He's going.
Back to Goron City.
He just realized he forgot the boring minigame and decided to do it while he was there.
I
don't know what
confused.
he's doing.
This feels like a mistake, just straight up, because there's a chance that even if it's not the way of the hero, this could be like a slingshot, and then you can do target in the woods when you go back.
I hope you guys find
I
watching these
feel like-
races
I feel
as
like
much
he
fun
might
as
just
I
be
do.
Kind of tilted from all of the technical stuff that happened earlier.
Yeah. Definitely looking that way right now. Oh no.
I've never had to do anything like that, but that must be so stressful if you're the one whose thing crashed. Well, he can make back some time if he gets first try Goron pot, I guess.
That go in? No.
This pot is burning people today.
Trying a little too hard to go fast there. Oh, PF getting Wait,
Getting
you can throw
bodied by
nuts at Big Octo? I never even thought to do that.
I got you, bro. Hey, I mean, if you need to, focus on
I
work.
only stunned it for like
I'm just
a
chilling.
second, and then it just immediately moved again. But
Chilling
apparently
and
you can throw
tracking.
nuts at Big Octo.
Yeah, I did totally jinx
Practicing
Riley.
tracking.
I was like, he'll be able to make back time if he doesn't fail this. I totally cursed him.
I'm kind of cheating too. See, that's one
Oh,
thing
nice.
about being able to practice
Deflecting
with
that
this right
from the-
now.
Whatever the octo things are called. on
I
Phoenix
can,
Feather's side. Okay, Riley.
because
Did you remember? Come on.
this is just a
This is
pre-recorded
the
video I'm
scrub
watching.
first, isn't it?
I can go back
Riley?
and see.
Oh, is he gonna go over to Kakiri sword chest?
Oh, maybe. I know PheonixFeather checked it. I don't know if Riley did.
I can go and see, like,
Yeah, Riley's not been in there as child yet.
if I've missed something. Of course, now when this is
Come on.
when I actually do it, I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna have that access to go back. But
He's not just immediately
it's good to have
warping out.
now.
That's
I'm
a good
trying not to
sign.
look at it. Trying to avoid looking as much as possible. But if I feel like I've missed something, I'll go check. Just like I somehow missed Ocarina of Time.
It's the stream
Oh,
up.
happy 1 hour.
Yep. Happy 1 hour, everybody.
It's been an okay seed so far, I think.
I'm really trying to treat this as live.
Oh,
Not
Riley
a
did
ton of
not.
stuff, but oh no, Riley, no!
Did not go to magic.
Riley, no. It makes sense. The play makes sense. He got his boomerang. He's gonna go job you, but no!
Yeah, no, this makes perfect sense. It's just
I think at this point, considering he went back to Lost Woods for checks he realized he'd forgotten, I think he has just forgotten about it. So he better hope that either he has a big brain epiphany or that the other magic is somewhere he can get. And that he can get fast.
yeah, the only big opportunity
There's
for him to
bomb
remember it
shoes.
after
We've
this, I
already got bomb
think,
shoes.
is he's still not done River. So if when he goes through River, he does frogs and thinks, oh, that's all the storms checks, and it'll be like, wait a second, is it? And he'll so like that would be the moment he would remember, and I think if he doesn't do it after that, he's not doing it.
Yeah, I think the only other time would be if there's an early non-magic locked Kokiri sword that could bail him out.
Mm-hmm. Or just the other magic somewhere.
Yeah, that too.
There are still options. Definitely still potential.
Well, that's a nice hint.
Perfectly placed Zora Fountain
Lovely.
Foolish in
Oh,
Zora
just do it.
Fountain.
Not even getting the skull though. And that's our first foolish, I think. Well, as places to get that hint go, it's the best one that Phoenix could have found other than, way earlier in the seed. Bailed him out.
They are also basically the only hints missing at this point. We're still missing a foolish hint and one of the sometimes ones, and that's it.
That's nice it kills icy waters.
Mm-hmm.
That's always just annoying.
Right, like, we spoke quite a while ago. Hmm? Oh. Jeez. Yeah, no, we spoke quite a while ago about the fact that, like, the remaining songs in this seed are pretty bad right now. So that makes Ice Cavern with Zora Fountain foolish. Like, Ice Cavern becomes a really bad play at this stage.
Yeah. I assume PheonixFeather's gonna go to Lon Lon, get Bolero, then probably play Bolero and get whatever's on it. We still don't actually know what that is, because Riley never did that.
Right, he's just been child this whole time, yeah.
It's a classic 1 hour Lon Lon ranch. It makes sense in PheonixFeather's shoes, though. Like, he has had Way of the Heroes or progression to push this entire time.
I'm
think he's
hoping to
routed it
catch a
pretty well.
break. To grab a lunch break.
Yeah, the other big thing for both of them, kind of, but obviously, like, slight differences in how they've done it, is that the checks they've done, they've been very efficient with. Like,
Yeah. Other
the
than
fact that
whatever
PF
Riley was doing in Goron City / Lost Woods.
yeah, the Lost Woods section for Riley has been a bit rough, but PF being able to go from, Goron City, do all of River and Domain and all of that on the way through, and just completely wipe out that whole area as child. Like, you never have to go back to anything there. Like,
There's Hammer.
always a really kind of strong feeling at that point to be able to say, like, yeah, I've done all of this.
Yeah. There's the hammer for PheonixFeather. Yeah, that is a good point, Ventnor. hope I got the name right.
But we'll see what
yeah,
this check
it is very
is.
good for PheonixFeather. I think that he routed River before going Lake
Bolero.
Hylia, so that he can plant the bean. Like, there's a pretty good chance
If
that
I
it
can
was
get
that
him back out in Hyrule
child
Field
fishing bow,
running,
but
I'm
you
going
want
to
to full
take
clear
a
your way of
break
heroes,
and go
especially because
grab
bow
some
is
lunch real
not
quickly.
guaranteed to be way of the hero. There could just
Like,
be another bow out there.
That I've got it
I guess
pre-cooked.
the
I just got to
question
pop it
then
in the
becomes:
microwave.
is Phoenix going to do Valley Lake from here? I kind of expect the answer is yes,
And
given
then,
that
Chad, I'm going to depend on
how else are
you
you doing that?
to
Phoenix doesn't
let me
have the
know
scale.
if he finds
But there is
something
always
while
a
I'm gone.
chance that PF goes adult here, looking for Serenade on the remaining song checks, and just kind of strands that bow over in the lake.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll be
I
right
don't know.
back. If
I mean,
Phoenix picks up something,
he's had
Chad,
it
let me know.
hinted, so I'm confident he's gonna go for it
Mhm.
fairly soon. But I could definitely see an adult play. You know, even like if nothing else, he's got Bolero, he's got Hammer.
Mhm.
Like, he could go fire.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing in Phoenix's shoes is if you go there as child, then adult, you're getting, what, 4 out of the 5 remaining checks, so it's incredibly likely that you get whatever item is way of the hero there.
Yeah.
Oh, not even Valley Lake, this is Field, and then Lake, it looks like.
It makes sense. He's got bombs. He can do field cleanup. I'm pretty sure he has not gone and done all the grottos.
Nah, yeah, this is very thorough, but it makes perfect sense, and I said it before, I think both of them are very thorough players, and if it's got them this far, they are very good, very efficient players who will try and route in pretty much everything on their path.
Yeah. And I think it makes sense to do this over Valley Lake. Like, this is more checks than Valley Lake.
Mhm.
If he is really thorough about it.
And it could easily end up being both, to be fair. It could be we'll walk
True.
from here to Valley into Lake.
Oh geez, are we seriously already at bottle percent? Wow. Yeah, and one of the checks in Valley, like, you can peak as an adult really easily without losing anything.
Yeah, if
and
Phoenix
another
goes
one
over
in Valley,
to...
they can just get as adult because they've got the hammer. So
Yeah,
Okay.
if
Did I
Phoenix
miss
wants to go
anything
over
in,
and
like,
do
the
Gerudo Training Grounds
60
after
seconds I
fire,
was gone?
like, you just save in there, jump out to check the
I can see you
waterfall,
just
and you can
picked
just
up a
do all of
bloopy.
that as adult.
Let's
Yeah.
just look.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see GTG
No,
play soon.
nothing.
I also wouldn't be
we're good.
surprised to not see
I
one
appreciate
if
the
you're
help,
hoping to
chat.
get more items. But it's way of the hero. You want
Right,
to
I
go
think-
there? You can.
Bloopy.
The first step is almost always going to be, okay, I can almost certainly go and beat fire. I'm going to go and beat fire.
Yeah, probably. Hope you get something on the way.
And then we're only missing Shadow and Deku after that.
Yes, Shanahan, bottle with Poe can be logically required for a seed. Not going to be for this one, though. First of all, we saw all our bottles. They don't have Poes. Second of all, we have Eponas and a bow. So we can just do it.
Yeah, it's
But
the
yes.
only bottled item that the game will logically require you use other than the letter, because you have no way to empty it other than getting the check.
Yes, you cannot chug the big Poes. So they're required. Or they can be. Yep. PheonixFeather planting that bean. So at some point, we're going to see what's on top of the lab. Maybe we can actually see what's in the water this time. He won't be able to get it because he doesn't have the scale from Ganon's castle, but peek it.
Gotta assume it was nothing if Riley didn't grab it though. Yeah, red
I think it was
rupee.
a red rupee? Yeah. I mean, I assumed it was from Riley's side, but I didn't actually see what it was. I wonder if he'll go confirm Pierre before he does Fire Temple. Take care of his adult lake and confirm Pierre before going fire. I could see doing that. Then you don't have to come back if you need Pierre.
Yeah, it's one of those awkward ones because like the odds that Pierre are required, like the boss key is the first thing placed in a dungeon, in terms of item placement, and Fire has 14 checks before Volvagia. Like, I think it's 15 total, but obviously Volv can't have the boss
Yeah.
key. So it's a 1 in 14 that you need Pierre. But, like...
But you gotta do Lake anyway. Thank you for the raid, Salty Sponge. This has actually been a pretty good seed so far. I think the only bad thing so far is Way of the Hero outside Scannon's castle.
Oh no, I missed it. What did it get? What did you get?
So, yeah, Riley, it seems like... Hey, for anyone who knows about Riley and Sponge in, like, multi-world tournament and so on, Riley taking a leaf out of Sponge's book here, and unfortunately it's the bad side, the squirrel side of things.
Yeah, Riley's not having a good day today.
That has magic.
Yeah, Riley also had a OBS crash and had to do the fair play agreement, so just not a good day in general. Need Kokiri's sword, and hover boots and Din's, like, guaranteed.
Hook shot.
Hook shot, yeah.
First hook shot behind strength 3 could be fun.
Could happen. And then, of course, it could be, like, you know, fire arrows and it's in Wasteland or something.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, if it's something like that, where it chains, like, Mirror Shield could lock light arrows at that point as well, but...
And, yeah, so, like, those first few items are the ones that we just straight up need, and then there's a lot of other items that could lock something that we need. Yeah, 50 skull lens
Need more of you.
a little bit scary. These players definitely know how to cross the wasteland without it, so that's only for one check, which would be the treasure chest minigame. Market isn't hinted anything, but it's always a little bit scary.
Every, like, Majora's Mask randomizer player will know the pain of seeing this really, really slow check leads to an item that just locks another check, and you're not going to find out what that other one is.
Yeah, it's bad. We're getting our first look at 10 skulls.
Ooh.
Hey! Always zooter safely.
Riley finding all the spells, but not the magic.
God, yeah.
I mean, no, Din's, yeah. If Riley stumbles into Din's next, he'll be thrilled, I'm sure, but... Yeah.
Thank you for saving me from being from a spider curse, small child. Have a condom. Shanahan, it's a 1 in 32 chance. Yeah, and there's the minuet on Bolero check.
There we go.
Assumed it would be. And looks like PheonixFeather is going fire. Curious what Riley is doing.
Riley, I think, is following in Phoenix's shoes right now, going adult.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, with that lens on, I guess people are probably talking about the odds of the treasure chest minigame in chat, because with that lens on 50 skulls, if you're getting really desperate, you may be tempted to try and do it, just brute force it. Like,
yeah,
I think if I had
okay,
like 20
at this
skulls
point, though,
and it was the end of the seed and I was looking for one thing, I would probably
Riley is now, Phoenix is now taking the lead, and there's his 10 skulls.
It's awkward because like, if 50 skulls isn't bad, if you know it's required.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That's fine. And especially if you're already at 20, it's like, okay, great, we can just get 30 more, go on. But then, like, after that, it's like, okay, well, the 1 in 32 could happen, like, second try, and it could happen, like, 50th, comfortably. And then it's like, on top of that, you've got to consider, well, what items do they have? You know, if you have then getting the skulls might be a little easier than if you've only got, you know, a hook shot or, like, no hook shot.
Yeah, and I'd also probably be thinking like once I'd gotten to my 20 skulls, be thinking like, am I gonna take a little bit of time out over and over throughout this seed to get more, so that if it is a 50 skull seed, I won't have to get 30 skulls all at once, or am I gonna take the bet that it's not gonna be that, and I'm not gonna do any skulls, and if it is 50 skulls, oh no.
Mhm.
Ganondorf, you'll never defeat me with the lighters at market.
I remember.
happen.
So there was a period of time, like I don't know, a year ago now, maybe a bit more, where people were doing Plando drafts in the Discord, which I kind of want to bring back now. Because I'm gonna yell at a couple of people to do those. Where basically you would all draft items, and then you'd message like an external moderator who would Plando the seed, placing your items in the places you chose. And then they like roll it to make sure it can generate, and if it can't, they'd like tell people, okay, these things clashed, you need to change them.
Nice.
But we did one of those where somebody's two items were the lens and the light arrows.
Oh no.
Sure enough, they finished in first, and everybody else was just 1 in 32 at the end, just like brute forcing it.
Amazing. And Riley is going for the Gruto's Fortress GTG play. Makes sense. It's Way of the Hero. If he wants to do hookshotless, he can do almost all of it. If he doesn't, he can still do a bit. And we'll also see if the hammer rocks anything. Nope.
Chimp.
Chimp.
Harsh.
It's okay, he can leave Ferrari's window.
Kicking him while he's down.
Yeah, that's just insult to injury.
Resident Evil. I played
There
one,
has been talk of a
one
Plando draft
time.
tournament. I think it was Cubs who was looking into that at one point, but
I would love a Plando draft tournament, not to play in because I am bad, but I would so want to watch that.
I played
And maybe if I get better
Resident
at
Evil
playing it.
Revelations. I was younger.
they're a lot of
and
fun.
it
They're like
scared
part of the issue is that
the
people had
living
really different
crap out
ideas
of
for
me.
it.
I
I
never
loved it
played
when more
again.
items were placed, because then you get to the habits of like, I'm gonna skip bottom of the well because nobody would have put anything in there.
Yeah, that is a thing about like a Plando versus just a really bad seed. Is like if it's a Plando, you're thinking, okay, there's gonna be something on chess minigame or highest Goron or something. Versus like in this seed, where like the chances of it being chess minigame with that lens very low. Probably not gonna happen. If this was a Plando, you'd be like, well, it's 100% there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you can start metagaming around the worst possible options. I remember making a Plando once and handing it to somebody, and the first check they did, like they got Epona song at the start, and they went straight to Gerudo Training Grounds, like first thing. First check they did was the Stalfos in like the entire game.
I played on the 3DS.
Oh yeah, it could still happen. Low chance does not mean no chance. It can happen, it has happened, but it's just, statistically not super likely versus a Plando. People are gonna, no one's gonna just make a nice Plando where everything's in Mido's house or something. It's all gonna be in the worst checks.
That was half the fun of the metagame for me. I wanted to get to the point where we were putting stuff in the Deku tree, but like, because we never placed bomb bags and stuff like that, so that you could still find those at random. Everyone, like, cause this was still with open Dekus back in season 3, and so everyone was just like avoiding the Deku tree as like a placement, but still clearing it in case they got like bombs and stuff. And I'm like, oh well.
Looks like we're gonna be getting the light medallion.
And we're getting our first look at GTG here for Riley. Lots of keys, nothing else. This is Way of the Hero. Riley can do everything except the toilet and the strength room.
I would not be surprised to see Riley find. I think that's a vanilla bombshoe pack.
Well, if he chooses to do hookshotless, he can do everything but those.
Wow.
That's French vanilla ice
French,
arrows.
yeah.
3 out of 5 on the meme percent, and not Way of the Hero.
I would not be surprised to see this Way of the Hero for GTG just being a second strength upgrade.
That would at least be convenient, because then you could just go and check the back. Unless it's in there, unless that's the logical strength 3.
We know they're going to be required, and yeah, it's pretty reasonable to find it here. It's just a question of, is it available here or not?
Man, so many keys. This is like oops all keys. Okay. Are we gonna get all the elemental arrows in here? Also, that could be the way of the hero. That could be
that's...
Spirit Key Logic, could be Wasteland, could be Shadow Trial 2.
There's enough of the dungeon left to go that you're not going to worry about the fire arrows just yet.
Yeah.
But every chest you open is just going to start weighing in that little bit more.
Way of the Hero Recovery Heart, obviously that's it. Ventnor. Good thing magic was in an easily accessible location. Oh. Oh no. Right, and PheonixFeather is gonna go do Adult Lake now, gonna confirm that Way of the Hero bow for us. Well, I guess not 100% because he can't do Lab Dive. Gonna almost confirm it.
Right. Actually, yeah, I guess it would make sense for, like, the bow to be Way of the Hero if, like... I don't know, I guess that was what Riley was checking, was whether the hook shot was early in GTG. Because if it was, then that would explain the bow being Way of the Hero. This probably determines whether he goes back to... Oh my god, it's second magic!
Well,
Is Riley gonna get... Riley didn't plant the beam!
That's not going to be the Way of the Hero, because the other one was, like...
That's a good find.
Super low sphere, but Riley's probably going to get bailed.
I thought he was going to get bailed out, but he hasn't planted the bean.
Also, he just straight up clipped through that rupee and didn't pick it up. I don't know what happened there.
Rupee hitboxes are awful. All of them expect you to come at them from above, so all of their hitboxes are slightly higher than they actually look.
Oh no. Yeah, so Riley's...
Get him.
I mean, Riley knows it's not 100% guaranteed that it's the bow, so he is potentially going to come back and full clear it. He didn't plant the bean, which is unfortunate, but I think the chances of him getting that magic are a lot higher than remembering Kokiri Storms, at least.
Oh, PF is not having fun with fishing.
This fish is angry.
Third try.
Yeah, that is a good point, Incoherent. Riley might very well think that the
There
magic
you
is the
go.
way of the hero, not the bow, which, considering it's a bow, probably not going to be a problem. Like, the logic for... There's no weird logic for the bow, it's just you need it to beat the dungeons, but...
It'll also be fine if he follows that towards the fire arrows here and assumes those are Way of the Hero as well, because then he'll end up with this spot where he kind of follows fire arrows for that and magic because he thinks it's Way of the Hero and ends up following the bow anyway.
That is true, yeah.
No!
And nothing on adult fishing, so it's lab dive or bow. What is that?
Okay, there's our fourth bottle.
There we go.
They both... I don't know if Riley has all of them, but he definitely...
I think that should be all of them for Riley.
Okay.
So there is still a chance of some this is all bait and there's something horrible on lab dive, but probably. Where are you heading now, PheonixFeather? I'm gonna guess probably following Riley, but...
That makes sense. A little bit of cleanup on the way, but...
Oh yeah, doing big pose. Oh, you drop the Poe in the water.
Okay.
You can totally pick it up, but it's just a thing that you can do. Well, technically that got him slightly closer to the entrance, but... Wet Poe. Yeah. Wet Ghost sounds bad. Oh, and there's another scale.
Oh, now that's definitely going to push Riley down to lake.
Shoot the Sun was hinted dead, Veobart. We got a hint for that. WAP wet ass
money,
Poe.
money, money, money.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, that that scale could be Way of the Hero, but well, yeah, it could be.
Did
the
Riley
magic
only
search,
get
Kokiri Storm's Grotto, and Top of the Lab.
Did Riley only get one more key from the entire back of GTG?
Well, I wasn't counting.
He just left. I didn't see the count, but he just left, which...
Yeah. I mean, he can't do the strength ones either.
Oh, unless it's because he saved here. Oh, no, okay. There's a recoil into lake. I guess he's already done Valley, hasn't he? Yeah.
He didn't do anything in Fortress.
Yeah, it was nighttime, so he can't do HBA. And no way up to the rooftop.
Yeah, fair enough. Guess failing. It's too bad about the time of day, because you would want to do horseback archery if you could. Alright, this is going to confirm for us, not for Riley, but for us, the Way of the Hero in the lake.
If this is hookshot, I swear to God.
Oh my god.
That's not a hookshot,
but it's required. We know we need the Ute Fairy. All 3 strengths are required. Riley can just go back to GTG and finish everything but toilet, which might not even be needed if it's a key.
It does mean that the scale there was definitely Way of the Hero as well, so he's going to feel a little less inclined to go there generally, but...
That's actually not so good for PheonixFeather, because he has to get the other scale out again. It's Castle, which is like... I mean, it's there, but it's like a lower priority because he has other stuff to chase.
Right, although part of the other stuff he'll chase will be the fire arrows from here, so he'll go over to Ganon's castle with fire arrows, with a bow, with magic.
Turn this heat off.
But yeah, it definitely is a lot of back and forth.
That does confirm that it's not the hookshot in the Yeet Fairy, though, because that's logically hookshot locked. That scale.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, okay.
So...
I'm trying to remember which chest it was in for a second there.
Whatever's back there...
It's either for Shadow or Deku directly, or locks the light arrows.
Yep. Riley, go and fire. And it's daytime, so we're probably going to see horseback archery on PheonixFeather's side. Man, he is, at this point, basically orphaned Lab Dive, which is also unfortunate. He's basically orphaned Lab Dive, and he's gotten 2 potential Way of the Heroes. Well, I guess he knows the magic isn't Way of the Hero, but he's gotten 1 potential Way of the Hero.
Yeah, like, it's a weird situation. Like, Riley's got a lot of things to chase that are going to be very difficult for him to go back to. Phoenix has a lot of things that he's isolated, probably more so than Riley, and more time, like, costly. But, he's more likely to go back to them.
The first scale's Ganon's Castle, Brando, 212. Not locked behind anything, totally in logic for them to get. PheonixFeather just hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, it's like... PheonixFeather has a very, like, roundabout route to get to Lab Dive, but will eventually get there at this rate. From, oh, I got fire arrows in the training grounds and it's Way of the Hero, so I'll go to Ganon's Castle to do Shadow Trial. And then do the rest of the checks there at the same time, get the scale, which will be his second. It's like, well, the scale was also in the training grounds, so I guess I'll go and do Lab Dive and get the strength too.
Hope so. Yeah, he can't follow up on that. Even if he can get the scale, the Way of the Hero, but he won't be able to follow up on it because he can't do Lab Dive till he gets either the iron boots or the other scale. Riley got really bailed by the second magic location. Like, it's in a way of the hero area. It's going to take him a while to do because he has to plant the bean unless he gets lucky and finds a hook shot, but
The other
He's
awkward side of
confident.
it for Riley is that he's got an item that's Way of the Hero there now. Like, he knows 100% the strength is going to be Way of the Hero. So,
yeah.
there is an argument to not go back there anytime soon because it's some fairly slow checks and you're not actually guaranteed anything there at that point.
But you just for the sake of being thorough, full clearing your way of the hero.
It kind of depends. It's situational.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. I am pro full clearing way of the heroes. Just
I think it all depends on
stuff like this
circumstance.
could happen.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's one of those things where, like, Riley is going to want to do the most efficient checks. And I guess the way the heroes are picked is it basically looks at all the items that are Way of the Hero and goes, okay, we're going to hint at this item. Where is it?
There's
That's the
ISRs.
location that's hinted. So if a location has multiple Way of the Hero items, it's more likely to be hinted. At the same time, one item being in a Way of the Hero location, that's it. The Way of the Hero is fulfilled. There is an item there that
Yep.
you know is there. So it's kind of that weighing up the odds of like, okay, how likely is it there are multiple items here versus how inefficient is it compared to other locations I can go to?
Yeah, and he's already got another, as far as any of us know, also way of the hero item in, like, we still haven't seen another bow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's hard to tell who's ahead. PheonixFeather does have, I think I would say PheonixFeather, but like Riley could easily still come back from this.
Right, yeah. Phoenix has the advantage right now, but it's still definitely early enough that it could swing.
Strength 2 was on Lab Dive, Bitsy, with the Way of the Heroes GTG scale. Unfortunately, that's the real thing that's the real advantage that Riley has over Phoenix is Riley went to Ganon's castle, got the other scale, so he could do that. Phoenix didn't, and we haven't seen the iron boots yet, so they can't cheese it. I wasn't counting exactly how many keys he had, but would also be tempting at some point to go back to GTG and check the strength block room. That's a more, like, appealing full clearing away of the hero, because there's 4 checks back there, plus that'll let you know what's in the toilet.
The fact that he didn't go back in to get the central chest suggests that between the strength 2 and the toilet, there are 3 keys. So I think it's 3 keys, 3 checks left in there.
Yeah, that would be something to potentially go back for. But apparently that's not what Riley's thinking. I don't think it's a bad play. He's got progression.
Right.
It's never bad to progress.
Right. Progression is just like almost always going to be your top priority in these situations. I guess the big question is, where does he go after this?
Yeah.
Riley doing a very good job avoiding the troll hole there.
Yeah, that was a nice fight. I'm also interested to see where PheonixFeather goes after this.
And there's our last bottle.
I've
Actually,
got to
for him,
assume.
probably Ganon's, I think.
Yeah.
For PheonixFeather, he hasn't even touched it yet.
And the fire arrows are definitely going to steer him in that direction.
Yeah. He could also, while he's here, just quickly dip Wasteland. You know?
True, yeah, there's an argument
like-
for crossing out
like-
of... You know it's out of
'cause
logic to
he's-
cross, but...
Yeah, but he can do Wasteland fine, and, like, he's not going to be able to know that it's the scale that's Way of the Hero.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he's
like,
going to be wanting to follow up on those fire arrows as well.
with no long shot, no hovers, like, everything through the wasteland is completely out of logic, but crossing over to get the check and see what the song is, and if it's a warp song, like, if you get Serenade, like, great, that's helpful later. If you get Requiem, that tells you huge amounts of information about,
The 50 skull seed, yeah.
like, there's so much that, like, that offers you here that I think it's probably worth that. And then you're going to save quit anyway to go back towards Ganon's. I feel like that's probably worth it.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, fire arrows could genuinely be Way of the Hero. Just because we know Gale was doesn't mean there can't be two in here. Yeah, that is absolutely possible. Oh, he's doing it! He's doing it! He remembered!
Hey, Riley's get magic! An
He's
hour
gonna
and a
feel
half
bad about
later than he should, but yeah. He will definitely feel bad about that one. He's going to feel really behind with this. But funnily enough, he's still the
not
only
really.
one with magic and Feroz Wind.
Oh, just an angry stab in the chest. Yeah, Riley skipped Kokiri Storm's Grotto, which was first magic. Even though they got Storm's vanilla off the windmill guy, very close to the start. It was very scary. He, like, it seemed like he straight up forgot it for a while. And we were all like, hopefully he'll get bailed by the one on the roof, but he's good.
So
He's
Riley's going to go pick up the checks around the crater.
There's fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're there. You can do them. Checks are checks. It's not that slow, but the magic was Kokiri Storm's Grotto and Lab Roof.
Uh-huh. I do kind of wonder if doing the crater checks here is like Riley basically going, I'm running out of good locations.
Well, it paid off.
Okay.
That also means less chance of a terrible bait item somewhere.
Right, that strength 3 outside Ganon's castle hint becomes a lot less of a concern now.
Yeah, especially because we know that it can't be lens, it can't be like wallet or tunic. Like, we've already taken care of most of the baits that it could be. The only way it could be bait is if it was for light arrows. I think that pretty much guarantees it's got to be something like that they hard require.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be hook shot. We know it can't be hook shot.
I was about to say, like, is there a way it's logical long shot? And it's no, even spirit is also a stone. So if you get a long shot there, you're still like, okay, that's really good information.
Yes, Riley does have ice arrows for the memes.
Yeah, fire and ice both in GTG. So Riley with all 3 now.
Yeah, you're right, Incoherent. It could be a slingshot. That is kind of the one horrible
That would be
bait it could
gross.
still be. And nothing in that left side Goron City. Yeah, it's pretty likely Din's hover boots, Kokiri sword.
Where will Riley go now is the question. Not Riley, Phoenix.
If it's the slingshot, they're gonna be mad. Oh yeah, or iron boots. Could be iron boots.
Irons
We
at
do
least
not-
gives you like a very clear direction though. We've got Fountain Foolish, and by that point I assume they'll, have either gone
Yeah.
back to the training grounds of Strength 2 or not care that much about doing the toilet. Like, you're just going to go and clear water at that stage if you get iron.
And Celestial Dreamer, yeah, it could absolutely be the Kokiri sword for Deku access. Sandy Cheesecake, oh. Nice autocorrect there.
That's amazing.
Way of the Hero in Toronto City. But yes,
I'm just going to think of everyone from Toronto as Gorons now.
But we did see the Goron City Wave here. It was Boomerang.
Yeah.
Jabu's a medallion, so that's just hard required. Yeah, it could be long shot, depending on the locations of the other strengths and like what stuff we have to do. I would say it's not super likely. Tracker does not track ice arrows, Scotty. They are completely useless for this game. Okay.
There we go.
Wow.
And the Stone
Really?
of Agony
Strength 2.
on Riley's side, but that is Strength 3. Phoenix doesn't know it because he has to figure out to do fishing, but...
So... That is locked by either hovers or hook shot, or long shot, sorry.
Yes.
Just to get across that first quicksand gap.
All right, so we know it. One of those has to not be behind OGC.
Yeah.
Which I mean, obviously, because it's one check, so obviously one of them isn't going to be. But and Riley's rushing ice.
I feel like it's most likely to be Kokiri Sword. Kokiri Sword or Din's. Din's would actually make a lot of sense here with the fire arrows as well.
Yeah, that potential fire arrows way of the hero. It's not guaranteed. If Din's turns out to be somewhere that you didn't need that to get, then it could not be the fire arrows. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, and if Din's is behind the outside Gannon's Castle Fairy, like...
Then it's definitely a fire arrows, yeah.
I made the comment earlier that, we just have to wait 7 years from the Din's Fairy. Just send it forward in time a bit.
Yeah, maybe she's still the Din's Fairy,
Please
she's
go
late.
get the song check while you're here. Thank you.
PheonixFeather's missing the strength on fishing. No, not fishing, lab dive, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bow is on
And
fishing.
not have the gold scale from Gannon's Castle yet.
Also, did he peek the arch at all? Because I couldn't see.
I don't think so.
Maybe
Probably
he's
grabbing
gonna
the
get on the
song
way
and
out.
then going to walk to the hint.
Okay, there's
he's
Requiem. Oh, 50
What?
skull seed!
So if this is required, it's a 50 skull seed. You gotta hope this isn't required if you're in their shoes.
Yeah. I mean, well, they don't actually care, but logical 50 skull seed incoming, potentially.
In terms of... Are you kidding me?
There
Riley
it is. The
with the-
ice rush paying off. We don't know for sure that that's required, JLo. You don't have to do Spirit Temple, as far as we know. So it could be that you just never need to go here in the first place. But if you need anything in Spirit Temple, that is a logical 50 skull seed. That doesn't affect our runners, though, because as you just saw PheonixFeather do, he knows how to do it without the lens. So he is not going to need that lens. Yeah, the only reason we'd have to go to Spirit is if it had an item that we needed. Because there's still some that we're missing. They could be anywhere.
Right, we know one of them's going to be outside Gannon's Castle, but Kokiri Sword, Din's, Hover Boots. Between the three of them, like, only one of them can be an outside Gannon's Castle. Like, the others have to be somewhere.
And of course, there's, other items that could lead to stuff like Slingshot for target in the woods, or Iron Boots for Central Pillar, stuff like that.
Yeah, Darklink has to play into this somehow, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Right. Nothing on the shooting gallery.
Let's see what's on skulls.
We don't know chest game. That's the scary thing about the 50 Skulls lens. We have no idea.
Nairu's
There's
love.
this
We got the
spider condom.
Gotta
We're
assume...
still missing 2 foolish hints.
No, it's just the one now. There's only 2 hints. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bot was just...
The bot
had
still
a
shows,
question mark for some reason.
But the
Mark,
fact that they're
if
still
you-
missing that is surprising, because they have checked a lot of their hints.
It's got to be like back of lake or back of castle at this point. What else have we missed?
I don't think either got the top one in the crater.
Oh yeah. Pick 6. Riley did remember the Kokiri Storm's grotto. Yeah, I think PheonixFeather's going Gannon's Castle now. Makes a lot of sense as next play. Like, he
Yeah.
could do Stone Spirit, but
This is going to be really big for him as well, because having the fire arrows, he wants to follow this here, and then he's going to find that scale, and between the scale in GTG and that being Way of the Hero, especially if this leads to nothing. If the fire arrows...
well, but he already
And-
knows from the Wasteland that the fire arrows might be Way of the Hero, depending on where Dins
Yeah.
is a thing. And no, the Wasteland check is not lens locked, but it is either hovers or long shot locked to get over the big quicksand hole. So that was still out of logic.
Mhm.
Which is also how we know that one of the two of those things can't be locked behind the outside Ganon's castle.
But yeah, like, I got to assume that in PF shoes, you're going to at least try and follow that scale between both Lake Hylia and Training Grounds Way of the Heroes. So I actually
hope
expect
so.
PF to pick up that
Here we
strength
go. He's going to
reasonably
strength 3
soon,
too.
and then just follow it through to the outside Ganon's castle. Riley's is a little more difficult for that, because it definitely feels like
There's
Riley doesn't want to
Nairu's.
go out of logic too much, and going over to like, he's already done most of Training
Feror's.
Grounds. Going back over there now feels low value. Going over to Spirit feels low value. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see him getting that Wasteland chest unless he got Requiem, but we now know that's in the desert.
Yeah, that is kind of scary. He can go. He's going
See,
forest.
Riley's going
Alright,
to push
Going
Forest
forest.
to take her nap.
He got Saria's song out of ice, so he can full clear Goron City Way of the Hero. It's probably nothing. I don't know if he's gonna actually do it, but he can.
I think, yeah, Forest from Riley makes sense. Like, as far as he can tell, all of his Way of the Heroes have done something right now, and Forest is
I would say
just more checks than just about anywhere
Phoenix
else
will
he's
be
got available.
ahead after
Yeah, pretty
well,
much makes
well, he's
sense.
still out of hook shot.
We can't really
But
say
he
who's
will get
ahead at this
strength
point.
3.
They've both kind of gotten different stuff,
Or no, he'll get
and
gold scale.
it's sort of up to who gets everything first at this point. Neither one of them is like majorly ahead.
I
Nice
had
shot
to-
on PheonixFeather's side.
Yeah, if I had to
He'll get
guess,
strength
I would say
3
like
from,
PF has an advantage, because I think the things that Riley's missed are going to be harder for him to get back to than the
From-
ones that PF has missed. But like,
diving.
we're talking narrow margins.
Yeah. Alright, and that Shadow Trial 2 fire arrows was nothing. Hopefully that pushes PheonixFeather to follow the scale, since there's, like, depending on Dins, the fire arrows could not be the Way of the Hero. Kind of suspecting they're going to be, but he does not know that.
Also, yeah, for Go mode, we're still missing Din's, Hovers, and the Kokiri sword, but that's about it at this point.
He's also potentially going to
Dins,
lose some time.
Hovers, and
PheonixFeather is, he might have to get the Ganon's hint for those light arrows. So that's a little bit out of the way. I don't know if he's planning on heading Crater anytime soon.
That's true, actually, yeah. The fact that he's already done fire, and if he goes over to Ice Cavern after
Oh,
this,
there's the Kokiri sword in
right
Stone Forest.
getting rewarded.
Riley's making all these like weird, out of the way plays, and they're all
There's
paying
gold.
off.
It's interesting because, like, from his position, I think this makes sense. But from what we've seen, it's like the odds were so low, right? Like, he's staying in logic, so he's like, okay, I have to find something in logic. I'm just gonna follow that because it's got to be like a long shot or hovers, or yeah, like if the logic for crossing the wasteland is just you get the hover boots, he's like, well, I need the hover boots anyway. Like, great, I'll just stay in logic, get my hover boots. Sorry, you should chat laughing at today's trackers are lazy. It's like, great.
Yes, but shout out to our trackers, Lazy, the person, not the adjective, and Ginger Sunny. No, chat, go. And also shout out to Yoshi Kyun, my co-commentator, and Prez for rolling this seed. And is it Crane double WR? I hope I pronounced that right, for restreaming.
Yeah, and of course, I guess a good time to say that these runners, this is an interesting race from both of them so far, and I'm really intrigued to see where it goes. So if you're enjoying this, make sure to give them a follow. Both fantastic runners who almost exclusively do OTR at this point. Riley still plays MMR, I know, and PF definitely has like a wider OOT background. But that's definitely both OTR mains.
Yeah, so outside Ganon's castle has Din's, Longshot, or Hover Boots.
Mm-hmm.
I think, or like Iron Boots and one of those things in Central Pillar, various other horrible baits. Phoenix Feather is going to go and get his light arrows, though, so I wasn't worried about anything. Or I was worried for nothing.
That's also going to suggest an Ice Cavern play for PF here.
Oh, that's true.
He's got the blue fire that he just got from Ganon's and is coming over to the crater.
That is going to be really good for him. And Riley, I assume, is just going to head straight to Deku Tree. Push your progression, hope there's something there.
That makes a lot of sense. So this is the thing, if Riley finds like just the long shot or just hovers, his best option then becomes crossing the wasteland. He knows that the 50 skulls will be in logic. He's just got to push that at that point.
Yeah.
See what the song is over there and just follow it, and will get rewarded for it if he does it.
Yeah. Then he'll be able to finally tell us what's on the ferry. Yeah, Phoenix Feather is going ice. So that's good. But still needs to find some time to route in Lab Dive.
So this is suddenly like a very, very close call at this point. Like, a lot of this will depend on what's in Deku Tree, and obviously, eventually PF will have to go into Stone Forest to get the Kakiri sword, and also Lab Dive for Strength 3. And the issue on PF's side is that, depending on what's in Deku Tree, if anything, PF might just get led around by whatever's in there, and if PF gets Strength 3, well then, definitely a decent chance of getting led astray by whatever's in there. So they might both end up just kind of going on a bit of a world tour at this stage.
Yeah. Okay, there's a bomb bag on Skull Kid. And the Stone of Agony on King Zora. Meme Rock from the Meme King. So the strengths are on Lab Dive, Wasteland, and what's it called? Brain is
Bomb Tube Bowling, wasn't it?
Thank
yeah,
you.
They both got the bowling one.
Bomb Tube.
Riley is missing the Wasteland one, and PF is missing Lab Dive.
Kept thinking like Treasure Chest game. I'm like, it's not that, it's the other game. What is that called?
Oh god.
It's on Bomb Tube Bowling. Thank you.
Please not Treasure Chest game.
And nothing on Darunia, but you could pretty much guess that by now.
Dancing Dad not paying out for us today.
He's even way of the hero, and he still didn't pay out. Yeah, we're very close to meme percent. I think all we're missing is Winter Heart Piece.
I always forget what people include in that. I'm always sure there's like one thing that I'm like, this should be included and isn't, but I can't think what it is now.
People are kind of go either way on like Nehru's Love.
That might be it.
Versus like Double Defense, because both those are like kind of useful, but
yeah. Yeah, I probably assume both would be, and then I think, yeah, one gets left out.
50 skulls for logical wasteland crossing for something in spirit would be pretty funny.
Worst part is like
Oh,
think PF is
Colossus
gonna go.
left hand is a small key. That's a last sometimes hint, I think. Still
Yeah,
missing
there.
a foolish.
Yeah, I think PF is going to go over to Spirit. I think that's actually like probably PF's next play after Ice because getting the hook shot, it's like, all right, well I can go get 50 skulls now, and then I guess crossing isn't in logic, but you don't really care about the long shot. So at what point do you just shrug and move over to Spirit anyway?
Vidya, Nehrus can be necessary in one hit
There's a
KO,
hook
yeah.
shot.
Also in Scrub Sanity or like Grotto entrance randomizer. Sometimes you can need it to get across the lava to the Scrub Grotto in Goron City.
I think in the whole multi-world tournament, including all of the practice, our team saw that once ever. Like one person once.
Yeah,
It's incredibly rare, but possible.
almost never can happen, but it can. I don't think I've ever seen it happen actually, but it totally can. PheonixFeather is really not pushing skulls at all. So hopefully it's not logical 50 skulls.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of always curious to me because the way that people do skull routing is so reliant on dungeons. And getting a hook shot late and, Forest being a stone and everything does make me wonder if PF's just going to pretty much isolate 20 completely. And the flip side to that is, part of me wonders if part of the reason that Riley went to Stone Forest was because they're easy skulls.
Yeah, maybe. Hello, Elaine Dorthanel. Yep.
Chat is all on the same lines. This lens game.
Everyone wants this lens game. Well, there's iron boots. Okay. That's one more thing that can't be a need fairy, but also
kind of grim.
Not something you really want to see.
Yep. Knowing that, like, somewhere in logic, there has to be hovers or long shot. Like, that just puts a bunch more stuff in logic that you didn't want in logic.
Yep. That. Yeah, well, I guess it's less than normal. Like, it's not going to be. It can only be for water temple stuff.
Mm-hmm. Toilet as well is.
Oh, you're right. Toilet, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not much stuff. It's just enough to worry.
I mean, yeah, scale is confirmed. Way of the Hero for GTG. Fire arrows, they're looking more and more likely Way of the Hero. There can be an infinite number of Way of the Hero items in a hinted spot.
Right, the lab dive can be done with hookshot and irons, but that is not part of the logic. The logic will expect you to have 2 scales.
Yeah. Yeah, scale was 100% required. Way of the Hero. For lab dive, fire arrows, really starting to look like they're 100% Way of the Hero for Wasteland. So it's looking more and more likely that Dins is what's in that ferry.
Oh, Riley, a little too close to the scrubs there.
Dins on Darklink and hovers on Goma behind first logical slingshot and outside Ganon's castle. It could happen. Slingshot is still like the one chance we have of outside Ganon's castle being bait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, long shot would have to be somewhere for that, because either long shot or hovers has to be available for the strength. But
yeah, but it could
could happen.
And happy 2 hours.
Happy 2 hours, everybody.
And there's the spirit play from PheonixFeather.
I'm gonna see. So we've seen Stone Forest pay out. We're gonna see Stone Spirit now.
That's another place where the fire arrows could be way of the hero, either for key logic or for an actual item.
Mhm.
Well, obviously the key logic would have to lead to an item because you don't need the dungeon reward, but I mean, there could be something in the chest or a key. All right, well, there was nothing on Goma, so rip that terrible dream.
Yeah, the Kokiri sword is
Kokiri
the island
sword?
chest.
Yeah. The one on the little place surrounded by the river that has the Skulltula. Where is Riley gonna head to?
Riley's not done
Kokiri
Kokiri
sword,
sword
yes.
chest.
Yeah, he came here as adult to do Mido, so he never.
Right. And then came out as child, but just went straight through to Goron City, yeah.
There's a nice, easy spirit boss key. This would be great if they, had to do it and wanted to go mode it.
That would actually be a pretty nice thing for PF here, or potentially a really costly thing for PF if he's really, set on pushing this, is if there's no keys on adult side.
Oh, yeah. That would either be a bail or really bad, and we wouldn't know until someone did child side.
One of those things where, yeah, if PF rushes straight to it, oh, wow. So if PF chooses to go straight to child to do spirit, it's a lot of time sunk into this, and if it doesn't pay out, then, yeah, that's a lot of, a massive time cost there. But,
And we're getting the chickens, the 2-hour chickens on Riley's side. We still haven't seen this.
Yeah, we still have chickens.
This could be the secret to everything. It was chickens all along. I'm not sure if Riley meant to fall in that hole. Nope.
We still have, chickens and Dampe, I think, because their time of day was...
no one did Dampe digging yet, because they kept coming in at the wrong time.
Still have 20 skulls.
Oh, I didn't know if you jumped in that hole, it reset the chicken closer to the pen.
Yeah, it doesn't
random.
It's only generally faster, though, if you've not checked the chest, because the loading time for the grotto is actually generally not worth the time it takes to then get this chicken, and compared to, just throwing it over the fence.
Oh, of course that would make sense, because it resets the chickens that aren't in the pen.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I guess the loading time would depend what you're playing it on, but still.
Mhm.
It's faster if you're bad at chickens. Well, there we go, a strat for me. Yeah, and PheonixFeather's reversing, I guess, going back to GTG to check the strength 2 in the toilet. Well, he won't be able to check the toilet, but he'll be able to know if the toilet's a key or not.
This is also PF's best way back to Lake. So this could be a really valuable play for PF here.
I'm also glad to see this, because I really want to know what else is in GTG. Yeah, hopefully he routes this to go to Lake and clean up the stuff that he can do there. And then he will be set to go and find out what is outside Ganon's castle, but he's still going to have to go to Stone Forest to get that sword. Slingshot on chickens! Oh no! I mean, at least that means it can't be outside Ganon's castle, but oh no!
Immediately after leaving Lost Woods as well.
That just feels bad. The Kokiri sword was in the courtyard in Forest Temple. So not super, super bad. It's not basement or anything, but... Alright, let's see what the likes have got.
So we know that between, likes and the toilet, there are 3 keys?
Another slingshot! As far as PheonixFeather knows, that could be way of the hero. The other slingshot! We just saw all 3 slingshots within about 2 minutes.
What is happening?
Well,
I already forgot. How many keys did we need?
So they only
So
needed the one.
toilet-
So these two are both
toilet is a-
keys. This,
Toilet is
yeah,
a key
it's-
then?
yeah, the last chest that PF opened and the toilet were both guaranteed to be keys by that point.
Yeah.
In fact, both of the last checks because it's the key can't be in the center.
Yep. So that's good to know. That will help PheonixFeather know that he's got to chase either the fire arrows or the scale.
Mm-hmm. And like you say, from PF's perspective, the fire arrows could have been required for the wasteland chest, but
Yeah, but he's
You're
not
right
gonna
next
know
to the
that till he
lake.
finds Dins.
yeah,
And,
and
like, he
you're right
knows it's
next to the
not.
lake here. You want to go and do it. It's like, all right, just push that potential.
The world's hardest to get on log. Man, that was wild, the double slingshot. Alright, where are you heading now, PheonixFeather? He's equipping the bow and save quitting. So that's probably...
Oh, horseback
might be
archery?
a Valley
No,
Tunnel?
that's you don't
I
need.
thought he
to
did
equip
horseback
that.
archery already.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah. Plus you don't. Yeah. What is that for?
he's gonna go. He's gonna go. Late.
Another save
Okay,
quit.
he's not
It's
going
not
like...
lake. Like the bow doesn't do anything for lake because we got the shoot the sun hint. So it's like, where is bow going? Forest? Did he have Deku nuts? Was it hookshot Deku nuts bow?
I didn't see... it might be Forest. I mean, he can do it now.
No, it was bombs. I'm
He's
so
pushing
confused.
Forest.
Hey, that is a good point, Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
He has Minuet, so it's not going to be Forest.
Is this just a child, like, or going child and going whatever? I'll just like.
No.
Maybe? I
These are
don't
like
know
next
where he
equips for coming adult, I guess.
Where
He's
does
going
he
Deku.
have to go, child? Like, he doesn't have the sword. What is he going to do as child? Is he going
Yeah, I guess it's
back?
Dampe chickens.
Is he just going to do
Is
Spirit
it
Trial?
cannons? Yeah.
Oh, he could be going to do Child Spirit after this. That's a good point.
Yeah, and actually, the time of day from coming to Ganon's first would be Dampe time as well.
Also, I think Riley's going to do Dompe digging, so we'll get to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's setting forward wind in here. That makes sense.
So this is setting the time of day up for Dampe then. That's probably the main goal coming here.
He is going to go for it, though. He can do Spirit Trial now.
Why would you set the
Hover
FW at the
boots
top?
on
Oh, that is
Oh
big.
my
Okay.
god.
So
Wow.
Riley now knows that crossing the wasteland is in logic. If Riley has been sticking to the logic, which it looks like he has been, he now knows that's in. He can cross over, and if he does, he'll find strength 3, and he'll follow that.
So that means that basically has to be Dins in the ferry.
It's that or spirit or water is required.
Yeah, that too. That's true. Yeah, there's no possible bait outside Ganon's castle. That is a very good point, though. It could be like Mirror Shield, and it's in spirit type of deal.
Yeah, I think the closest thing to bait would be if you found the long shot, and then you're like, okay, is this for water's logic or is this for spirit's logic?
Yeah. And we did get the hint that the left hand was the key, so logically you do need the
Wrong hand, I
long
think.
shot. Or
Other
do
hand.
I got the hand wrong? Oh.
But yeah, the way it works out is like the one on the left hand has to be 5th key because of the
So
logic
based
of
off what I'm
spirit.
seeing here and now,
Um,
Riley is currently leading. He's got the 20 skulls. We've only got 13. Riley's sitting at the 20 skulls. He's got more songs. He's got more items open.
Not great for PheonixFeather unless it is purely a spirit.
And he's made a play in Deku, so he got one more medallion.
He's probably just wasting time at this point.
He is
Unless
almost
he could-
certainly gonna get his hovers here at least. Which is nice for him, but yeah.
Yeah, but unless it's like the only way that this spirit
Phoenix,
would
on the
really
other
target
hand,
him is if it turns out that it's long shot purely for spirit key logic,
not so great.
required. And then he could just get it and not need to worry about outside Gannick's castle at all.
Riley is not going to feel good about this, by the way. I know firsthand from talking to him that he hates any situation where you have to wait for time of day. And like every time he's watching another runner and they're like stood waiting for time of day to pass, he's like, this is such a waste of time. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. And there he was killing style children to pass time.
It definitely wasn't a waste of time for him here, though. That was a very required nighttime for Dompe. And no, we didn't have a right hand hint. I got them backwards. It was left hand that was hinted. But that doesn't mean that the right hand isn't a key. All that's left for Riley is Din's Fire, which Din's Fire and basically Strength 3, because we pretty much know that you need Strength 3 to get Din's Fire.
It's, yeah, incredibly likely at this point that as soon as Riley goes to the Wasteland, it's pretty much done. And the question becomes, does Phoenix go to Lab Dive, Forest, and
Dump.
Dampe before that point?
Probably not. The Kokiri sword was in the Forest Courtyard Island, so Nightglow Sealand. Alright, Phoenix is going to target in the woods.
All the
Makes sense
locations
as
Phoenix has gone
far as-
through,
He knows this could still be Way of the Hero. It's not, but
all the locations that PF is going to right now don't pass time of day either. So he can just come over here, get these checks, and then right at the end, just play Nocturne and go and get check Dampe still. Riley's doing it. This definitely does look like a
I think
Spirit
that's a bomb
Cross,
bag.
which
yeah.
he'll grab the Wasteland on the way. He'll almost certainly just warp away immediately. There is an argument for crossing, getting a song, and potentially leaving a Feroz in spirit if it wasn't Requiem.
Yeah, I could see either. We don't know
Oh.
what's in spirit, Mr. Nintendo. They got key locked out of adult side.
So yeah, I missed PF walking down from the save warp to Goron City.
Yeah.
That's a pretty bad. I assumed it was Minuet, but
Is he going lake this way? I'm not sure what he's doing.
I guess so. This, yeah, it makes sense. The fastest way to Lake, yeah.
He's
So one of three that he needed is being picked up here.
That's good. And gonna get horseback archery. We know it's nothing, but Riley does not.
This is one of those things where, yeah, you mentioned earlier, you know, like I've mentioned the fact that like they are both very thorough in their play. Like they both try to clear out everything on the way. This is the kind of point where that kind of play could be costly, because every check that PF does now that Riley hasn't already.
Oh no, Riley!
Oh,
That's a monk S score.
coming back around.
There it is, Strength 3.
All right, he got it, but that was a
um,
little scary.
But yeah, like every check that PF is doing now, like Child Spirit and things like that, we're like, okay, well, that's just time that he's losing. But every check that Riley does on the way over to Spirit is also just lost time for Riley at this point.
Yeah, and PheonixFeather's taking the owl, which worries me that he's just going to immediately go adult again and not get Dompe.
Yeah, his time of day was really bad at, which I'm just surprised. Like, he played Minuet to do Goron City, and I was just... After dipping to Ganon's Castle, it definitely looked like it was a Dampe play. He went to Ganon's Castle for 2 checks and set FW. I assumed that was time of day for Dampe, but...
That's what I thought, but... Unfortunate. Yeah, he's gonna go and yeet the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it'll give us some information. We're going to see what it is. But if it is just Din's, he's not even going to be able to do anything with that because he doesn't have the hovers.
Mm-hmm. I guess part of it is that, like, if this is Kokiri Sword, then he's going to want to do Deku Tree immediately to see if there's stuff in there because it's just so good for check density.
Yeah. No, I completely... I mean, other than just forgetting about Dompe, I totally agree with this play. It's just worrying because we know that he missed something.
Yeah, and the other thing for PF is, like, he still doesn't have a particularly good reason. And as PF, like, in PF shoes, you want to confirm what that is, just so you know you're not chasing bait all around the world.
Yeah.
The flip side for Riley is, like, Riley knows that Spirit is in logic and knows that Spirit is valuable, but is Riley going to open these chests, or has he just counted the keys? And he's got to open at least one to get the center, but...
Nope. Oh, he's going for it. Hopefully he's at least figured out from counting the keys that he doesn't have to do toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he has. Because he has everything to do toilet if he wanted to.
Yeah, I imagine he'll go through to the center, see that there's 1 key, not 2, and just be like, okay, that's it.
All right, what does this fairy have for us? It's finally time to find out. It was Din's.
It's just straight up. No bait, no chains, no...
Nice.
That is not super great for PheonixFeather, because if it was like, Mirror Shield, he'd at least have something to chase. He wouldn't be in this situation where he's literally just can't do anything with it.
Right. If it was... Obviously, we know it's not, but if it was a Kokiri Sword, then it's like... Okay, well, we can go do Deku Tree now. If it were... Like, Din's gets him the first 2 checks of Shadow. Fine, you have to do it at some point, but...
Yeet.
I'm so glad they sped up the yeeting. I gotta be honest, like, that's such a nice change.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't just completely remove it, though. It is fun.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's something satisfying with strength, like, even, like, strength 2, when you have to do, like, the Goron maze or strength, you're just walking around, like, throwing boulders around. It's really fun, but also really slow.
All right, Riley is going for it, unless he's just gonna... Actually, no, there's not even any reason to just open the gate anymore, now that you can open it from the other side, so he is going for it.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna ground jump over, probably.
Yep, he's got the bombs equipped.
Oh, a little close there, is he not? Okay. I thought he was gonna talk to the guard.
That is a really nice change that you can open it from both sides.
Yeah,
I know it was for like multi-world or entrance randomizer and stuff, but I think it's good for everybody.
I like it as a setting, like if it was like a separate option, but it is funny that it's like wasn't really intended for these settings. It just kind of happened as a consequence of like the random spawn being treated as entrance randomizer.
Yeah. I think it's just a good quality of
and
life
now
change.
he's gonna go check
Because the only time it would come into play is if you're just like, oh, damn it, I forgot, and now I have to play a warp song. Like, it doesn't really change the meta at all, other than it stops an annoying thing that you can forget to do. And here comes Riley's final strength. Meanwhile, PheonixFeather is going for Shadow with no hover boots, not going to be paid out.
Just pointed out in chat there as well, there are like 3 locations in the entire game that have 1 check now, and 2 of them were required here. Like, we didn't have Hyrule Castle, but we did have Wasteland into outside Ganons.
You're right, yeah. And Riley is not even bothering with Requiem. I mean, at this point, he's pretty sure that it's going to be Dins. Like, it's either Dins or something that leads to Dins. He's just betting that it's not going to be, Mirror Shield for Dins in spirit or anything like that. Riley's in go mode. He doesn't know it for sure yet, but we do.
Yeah, Riley for certain will know he's in go mode in, like, a minute.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really interesting point, actually. I didn't see that Riley left the Feroz in GTG. I'm thinking, like, for Spirit, that doesn't make that much sense. Like, you'd rather leave it in Spirit. But without Serenade, if he'd found the long shot here, that would actually be really good for Water as well. Like, it's that nice middle ground between the two. Yeah.
Well, there's the long shot.
Oh.
Ooh, good deal.
But,
That's not good for PheonixFeather.
there is one very big thing for PF here that's really nice about this. That was locked behind Dins. So he knows for a fact he needs the hovers to cross the wasteland.
That's true. It's just not actually going to help him find them.
Yeah. And I think that's why we're seeing the Forest play here. I think that's why PF's gone straight to Forest and not Spirit, is like, Forest is generally worse for checks, but Spirit's locked by hovers.
Yep.
He knows he needs the hovers.
That's go mode for Riley. PheonixFeather's making the right play here. This is where he's going to find the Kokiri Sword. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter. Hovers are on Dompe digging. Episode.
Yeah, PF is like on exactly the right course here. He's going to get the Kokiri Sword, go Child, and probably try and set up some stuff during that Child to see about getting the hovers. And then the problem will be, like, even if he goes, okay, I'll do Dampe digging, then Deku Tree, gets digging, gets the hovers, go modes Deku, all of that, that still puts him a good...
By then. Yeah.
Yeah, like, good amount of time behind Riley.
That is a good point. Coffee Avengers, Sun Song on OOT, Dompe digging, which just makes it so much worse. PheonixFeather has Dins. He needs the hover boots from Dompe digging. Go mode means you have everything you need to beat the game. You just gotta go do it. Like, you're not looking for anything, you're just going through the dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot believe that long shot placement. That was just great.
That's actually, like, so perfect for PF as well, though, which, like, obviously too little too late, but, like, the long shot being not just locked behind the Dins, but in the first 2 checks, so that you know it's locked without having hover.
That was great.
The Shadow is still a very long dungeon.
Yeah.
So, there is still a decent bit of time, but let's take a quick
There's
look.
the sword for PheonixFeather, and he is bailing, or maybe, he's getting the skull and then bailing.
There have been quite a few 220-something times in the bracket so far. The absolute fastest is a 2:15:09. That's the absolute fastest time so far. So this one is definitely... It's going to end up being probably a bit above average, or a bit better than average in terms of times. Which, to be fair, I will say, like, finishing times don't mean a whole lot. It generally says more about the seed than the players. But, yeah, definitely a fun thing for people to keep track of.
This has been one of the shortest ones that I've commentated on this tournament. This tournament has had a lot of, like, 3-hour seeds and stuff.
Oh, there was a 154. I completely skimmed over that. Yeah, there was a 154 first round. Never mind.
Damn. That's
Dylan versus Devin.
Wow. Super Jet Seed.
I'm going to point out an unfortunate statistic related to that. after that match, both players went on to lose every remaining game.
Oh no, the jet curse.
Got one good seed, and then...
Yeah, now we just gotta... Not getting super lucky with the keys here in Shadow Temple.
It's always a way. This is... We spoke about this, like, what, 2 hours ago? The
Yeah.
dungeon thing is, like, Forest and Shadow are always the two that people complain about, and it's partially because, like... Yeah, Shadow, like... The best you get with Shadow Temple is, oh, I don't have to do the last 3 checks, and... Well, they're probably doing the last 3 checks today.
Yeah. At least this one was exciting because it had that long shot. That was that completely unnecessary long shot. PheonixFeather got... Where's it going? Oh, he's got a... Prelude's probably on Burning Cack at this point, so he's just got to walk. That sucks.
Yeah, at the very least it's locked behind.
Yeah, it's either going to be Burning Cack or Vanilla. So,
Yeah.
not getting that. And yeah, I wish I had enough time to watch every match too. I've watched a lot more of them this tournament just because, you know, I've been commentating them. But I haven't had time to watch too many that I wasn't on. There have been some really good matches. Hovers are on Dompe digging East.
Yeah, there's definitely been... I know, like, a couple of people have already asked in the Discord a few times, like, oh, I'm catching up now, you know, what are, like, the highlight matches? And I think, like, it's funny because I think with the answers to those, like, 2 of them were in the same day. Like, 2 of them were, like, back-to-back races as well.
Which ones were people saying? I missed
so
that
it
conversation.
was Wooden Barrel versus Saria's Object, and then Sponge versus Marco. And it was, like... They were, like, the same day. Back-to-back races, really. And, like, both of them were, like, kind of wild seeds that had a bit of everything. And, like, there was some questionable decisions, but also some really good ones and some really, like, amazing execution, and then just, like, metagaming all over the place. Like, those 2 were both incredible matches.
I don't think we got irons.
Someone else
Nope.
chat saying
We don't
Felix
have
versus
irons
Bono.
yet.
Felix Bono was definitely a
Yeah.
very tense one. I feel like that one might have lost a bit if people know the result going in, but definitely a very tense match.
And I can't
They are all on YouTube. They are all getting put onto the
Yes.
ZSR
And
YouTube, I'm pretty
there's
sure.
I believe 2-day delay, just as part of Twitch partnership. So like this VOD will go up 2 days from now. But yeah, they're on the ZSR YouTube channel. You can check them out. Oh my god, the double Stonewater Go Mode day, that was amazing.
I remember I was on commentary for the second race of Raid French with the message, and then just immediately it was like, wait, is it happening again? This is so good.
If y'all
2
notice
required
something, just
Bigrons, that
keep
was also
tabs
wild.
if you notice he picks up a good item. I'll be back.
The Waterstone ones were...
I don't remember any of the matchups anymore. There's too many, they all bleed together. I can't remember who's who.
I want to say one of them involved PKR, so it was probably Pink Kitty Rose versus Holy Sparks.
Oh yeah, I don't remember if that was the one, but that was a very good race. And PKR has gotten some very bad luck with seeds this tournament. I haven't watched all of hers, but all the ones that I've seen have been just garbage seeds.
It's been an interesting mix. There's been a lot of very high rolls and very low rolls, yeah. And yeah, I think the other race might have been What the Hells versus Fanta Tanks. I'm not 100% on that one, though.
Oh, that one I just watched
recent. I commentated that and I've already forgotten it.
I only just watched it like yesterday because I waited till it went up on YouTube, and I've already forgotten what happened too, but that was a really good race. Yeah, no, I mean PKR has been doing great. She certainly made the most of it. It's just she has had some really bad luck with seeds.
It's really intriguing to me because like PKR is a great player who I think also had like some really good luck during the qualifiers, like combined. And then the tournament bracket has kind of been a little more kind of standard fare. Like, I mean, obviously, you know, I'm saying like I think she got kind of lucky with the way her qualifiers played out, but like she hasn't got lucky, especially in the bracket, and is still
No.
winning, which says everything about her as a player.
Yeah.
But like, it kind of feels like it kind of feels like the scales have balanced a little now.
Yeah. I don't think I saw many or any of her qualifiers. I just know that every time I've been like tuned into one of her bracket matches, it's been like, this is the worst seed of all time. Everything went wrong. And
I think
mean,
the one
not
that
that
stood
hasn't
out.
happened a lot to other people in this tournament. But which
I
one?
think in her qualifiers, the one that stood out was definitely the very first qualifier of like the whole thing, where people were still getting very used to the season 4, and people didn't know like just how much the checks had kind of become better or worse depending on the settings as much. And she just beat Deku Tree and was like, "I'm just gonna do Child Goron City just to be safe." And it was like so out the way at that point. Went up there, got the boomerang, and everyone else was like last location. That she won by like 15 minutes.
Nice.
The UK players in OTR, there are quite a few, but the only one in top 32 is Fanta, and I gotta think Fanta would be a clear favorite there. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Just based on this tournament, I mean, he did win out of the.
Oh, Sparks is UK as well. Sorry, I'm really bad at remembering who's from where.
Forgot about it. So I don't think we've had a Fanta versus Sparks matchup, although we might be going to get one, possibly.
They were on opposite sides in winners, and they are now on opposite sides in losers. So if we get that matchup, they are top 4 between them.
Yeah, I knew they both got sent down to losers. Wasn't sure where exactly they were, but that would be a cool match to see. And having to go all the way for the Shadow Key.
Get to skip one check.
Yeah, that's a good point. Melrose is UK as well.
I think, yeah, the other player, like, I think Fanta would be the favorite. Sparks is obviously up there as well. And the only other player that I think Sponge kind of, mentioned as well is a couple years back, or a year ago or so now, Monstrous was top 32 in season 2 and was an incredible runner. And yeah, seeing kind of like Fanta now versus Monstrous at his best would have been an amazing race as well. It's definitely interesting kind of doing like a kind of who would win in this region kind of thing, because, you know, like we say, you're probably not
2.5
it would take a
hours
lot to
sometimes
see the Fanta versus
bathroom
Sparks
break.
match
What we
right
got?
now. They'd both have to win
Yeah.
quite a few races.
Forced.
So we're gonna
You
see,
got
you
the
know,
light
maybe some of the
arrows.
best like French matches, some of the
Yeah.
best NA matches, some of the best some of the best
And
US
irons.
matches, some of the best Canadian matches. Like, we might see a lot of those happen. Hell, if we're talking Canadian matches, Riley What the Hells has already been a match in this tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're caught up.
But then there are some that you just won't ever see.
And we're getting the 2.5 hour Desperation Chickens from Phoenix.
The worst part of this is coming here without hovers, where we know it's on Dampe,
Yeah,
without
but it's
Sunsong.
daytime. Honestly,
so
the best
close.
play for PheonixFeather now is literally to stand outside Kakariko until it becomes daytime, or it becomes nighttime. Like, that's never going to occur to you as a best play, but it actually would be.
The funny thing is, it almost wouldn't surprise me if PF considered it, just on the basis of it'll also put him to 20 skulls.
Yeah, that's a good point. If he's desperate enough to do chickens, maybe he is desperate enough to do it.
Also, to throw some context on this in chat, I actually started organizing or planning out a World Cup tournament a while back, but it's been kind of pushed to the side for a few other projects. But definitely going into it, the general idea was to break places up by region so that more people got a chance to play, and also because USA, France, and Canada would dominate.
Yeah.
It would be so stacked in those 3 directions, and then everywhere else is just like, we'll see what else happens.
Also, I really like Riley's routing there. Going to pick up those song on Burning Cack, hoping that it would be Prelude, which it was, to save some time getting back to tempo time. That was nice.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
definitely valuable.
Could have been Serenade and wouldn't have helped, but it paid off here.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't know about Requiem, but it's just like...
Oh yeah, that's true. He thought it could have been Requiem too.
But the time it takes to do it is still worth so much.
Yeah.
So like, it's a fairly quick thing to do. And the other thing is, from his shoes, if he got Requiem, then he plays that. He can chain it anyway, so...
It's true, yeah. I don't know if at that point it would be worth it just to go, but it totally worked out in his favor here. He just gets Prelude.
Yeah, it's definitely one. I think if you know Requiem is on Burning Cack, it's not worth it. But once you've got the Requiem, it's probably worth just playing it and dipping in to check at that stage.
Oh, no.
Maybe not actually, no. It makes sense, but...
He's just not gonna do that check. Oh, he's going Skull Mask. He started it, but... We actually haven't
Looks
seen this
like
at all.
Riley is going for Ganon. We may be seeing sub 3 hours out of Riley.
I love when, I'm so glad that Skull Mask is a sometimes hint now, because I love seeing those little dudes. They're so cute and I love them. They seem to... I don't know what it is, but it seems... Maybe it's just this tournament having terrible seeds, which is honestly true, but it seems like since we've changed to the new settings, and now that it is a sometimes hint, there's been way more things on Skull Mask. Like, I feel like it never used to have anything, and now that you actually have to go and do it sometimes, it has stuff more often.
There's kind of 2 things I want to say coming off of that, which is, firstly, I'm a very strong believer in every seed is bad. There's no such thing as a good seed. They're all terrible, and it's just how bad are we talking? Like,
fair enough.
But part of it as well is that, yeah, closing Deku Tree actually did boost. I think the Sphere Zero checks went from being like 11% required to 16 in terms of analysis, like as way of the hero. So, yeah, Skull Mask would have been roughly 1 in every 9 before, and is now up to, 1 in 7-ish? 6? Yeah, 1 in 6, roughly.
I didn't realize it had been that big of a boost. I'm bad at math. That would make sense. It's just funny. I didn't really, I totally didn't realize that the Deku had boosted it that high, but I guess, it isn't a high sphere check, so it makes sense.
That's why chickens have been playing in quite a lot more as well.
Yeah.
And also, weirdly, Deku taking out, like, it helps Sphere Zero the most, but it helps everything, and it's also why Stone Water has been so big.
Yeah, the dark
Wait,
link
that's a
boost
strat?
is real.
I did not know that.
Alright, Riley missed the 1 cycle with big Gorons, but, well... Riley is going to be nervous, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah, there's no way that he can lose this.
It's definitely that. This is weirdly the most nerve-wracking point in like any race, though. Is that point where you're so close to finishing, which means also means your opponent can be that close to finishing.
Yeah, and if you get completely sniped, especially in a bracket match, it just feels so bad. Oh, I think is his time of
Yes.
day right? I
Yeah,
can't.
he set it up
Yes.
outside Goron City,
Yes,
so
it is.
PF hits go mode before Riley finishes, but is they're on a 15-minute delay. So depending on how long it takes PF to do Shadow,
And
there
there's
was a
our
chance
hovers.
PF finished during a delay. But yeah, Sun Song on OOT is definitely the big
Killer of the Dompe check.
yeah, like hovers and long shot in this seed, and then hovers in particular, and then Suns on OOT just to make it awful to do.
Riley was the one who. Oh, you mean if there was no fair play agreement and Phoenix
Yeah,
was
so
gone while Riley's stream was
I'm
down?
not
I don't
100%
think so. Because I
and
think
also-
it was just his OBS that crashed. So like the stream was down, but his game didn't die.
I'm also not 100% confident on this, but I think the case is that I guess there's a slight time discrepancy here because PF stopping there is probably Riley finishing.
Looks like
Yeah,
PF
I
is
feel
gonna
like I
forfeit.
might be wrong on this. I don't think the runners have that choice at this stage. There was definitely a point before where it's like they got to like opt into the FPA. I don't think that is an option at this stage.
Yeah.
They just take it out of their hands so that there's no kind of hard feelings if somebody
I
doesn't.
assume the person meant like if we didn't have one, but that is also a good point. It was only like a 2-minute break on Phoenix Feather's side, so I don't think it would have mattered anyway.
It's GG's for Riley. And
are we gonna get them for an interview? We'll find out.
Looks like Phoenix is quitting.
Hello?
You have Riley with us?
Yo.
Hello.
What's up?
GG.
Thank you.
Yo, congrats. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Phoenix
was
quit.
definitely a seed.
GG's.
Oh,
That was a seed.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, well, we're still waiting to hear back if PF is going to join us.
Oh,
so we'll
PF.
hold off on like the big stuff at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess in your shoes, we can talk about the stuff that you did specifically. And I guess probably the biggest thing that was like unique to you here was how much were you trying to stay within the logic here?
Early on, I didn't really care. Like early on, I just went for super dense areas and then songs. So that was my plan.
Wow, what a
I think the big thing there was the Stone Forest play came fairly early.
I mean, it wasn't logic at the
what
time.
a
So
race for sure.
because Bolero was at Lon Lon and then Minuet was at Bolero.
But thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. It's been fun, lit, and hype. We'll put a stop on this. I appreciate it. Tune in again. We'll be doing another one of these. We might look at trying to do one tonight. And we'll see what happens. We'll try to see about doing one tonight around 9:30. We'll kind of see. And we'll definitely look at doing one of these again tomorrow. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this was pre-recorded, but good run to the runners. Be sure to check them out on Twitch. There's their Twitch links. So check them out. Let me full screen that. Be sure to check them out. That's their Twitch links. And I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you again in another stream. Let's see if we got Spotify up and running. We do not. So let's get Spotify running. And that'll be that.